So National Signing Day, big day for a lot of high school kids across the nation. Some of them going to college for the first time in their family. Some of them been a lifelong dream for them, their family, their mom, their girlfriends. Here in Miami, coming off a 5-win season, Canes ranked number 3, number 4 in recruiting. And everybody like, oh my God, how did that happen? Woke up this morning, the facts that started coming through, and they coming through. And then, number 1 cornerback in the nation, Cormani McClain, mom's case just tweets out, false alarm. There will be no signing for Cormani McClain today. Cormani McClain has been committed to the University of Miami for a month or two. This was him a couple nights ago, trying on Mario's loafers. That went viral last week with Coach DeMarcus Van Dyke. If Cormani was your son, number 1 cornerback in the nation, how would you handle the recruitment? I tell you this, for most of these families, this is the most leverage they've had in their life. It's a decision that can change their life, especially now. You got Florida pulling, Alabama pulling, Florida getting put in a locker by Miami and recruiting recently, and I'm sure they don't just lay down and play dead. How would you handle the leverage and responsibility? How would you handle the leverage and responsibility if your son was Cormani McClain, the number 1 recruit in the nation, the number 1 DB in the nation? How would you handle it? If all your leverage lied on you signing that commitment, and now you committed. All your leverage relied on you getting married. Now you getting married. You off the market. How would you handle it? Would you dot your T's and cross your I's? 786-405-9499. Y'all want to get down with IOD Squad? We did our thing, and that was Spider Day. It took a while. Took 2 days. Did 100% on Spider Day. What 100% mean is if you put in $5,000, you made $5,000. You walked away with $10,000. We did 100% on Spider Day. That's 786-405-9499. If you want to get down with IOD Squad, if you want to get your credit fixed, somebody just send a text. I'm going to hit you back. I got you. I'll shift that over to them. Cormani McClain. First off, we're gonna start on a high note. We're not gonna start on a low note. We're gonna start on a high note. I'm gonna bring my boy Rich in here. Let's start it off like this. Miami did a hell of a job of recruiting to be a 5-win team. And today they got a bunch of letters faxed in, and a lot of kids committed, and they've done a hell of a goddamn job. Rich, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Where you at? An Airbnb, bro? What they there back there, boy? You got a piano back there? Got a fireplace?
Yep, I had to do something classical for signing day, you know?
I am. Maddie, what's up?
What's going on?
What's up?
I had kind of weird right now because the green screen. Forgive me.
Who says weird? Is see-through?
Nah, it's fading out all the green, so all the green on the hat, you can't see it.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap all this thing up tonight on the space tonight, man. We got KB in here. We're gonna wrap it up on the space tonight. But Miami has done a great job. Today's been signing day, a lot of flips going on. I think you said UCF took some of Florida kids, Medic.
Yeah, I'm counting at least 2 or 3. That's Miles on just ran for their building took everything.
What?
Yeah. That's nothing. Yeah, it's bad right now. It's funny to me, but yeah.
No, man. I started off with, man. When this usually happens, I can't lie. When this usually happens, if this was happening the other way around, if Florida State kid Travis Hunter was saying, "Hey, I'm gonna hold off. I don't want to sign right now," we would be saying he about to flip, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just be real. Let's be real about this. We will be saying, "Oh, because the only one he committed to is us. We the only one he holding off. Ain't like he holding off nobody else." That's what we would be saying. That he's about to flip. I heard we were good. We talked about it in the villains. I mean, I let y'all know what my thought process. My thought process. I mean, not my thought process, but I've heard that we were good. But like I said, this is probably the most leverage him and mom have had in their life, bro. Like it's a lot riding on it. And kids play games because y'all always say the kids trolling, but coaches troll too. Coaches play games too.
They do.
It's a negotiation. It's a game. It's a game being played on both sides. Now, one thing that I know we've talked about in the villain section is I know for a fact that Alabama started recruiting like, hey, you sending your kid to play for DVD? He's not even on the field. You're like, hey, wait a minute, what? Yeah. He's not on the field. Coach Adai is the DVD coach. DVD just go get water and hors d'oeuvres or something. You know what I'm saying? That and then everybody's like, what? Because we all said DVD is a big cog in this recruitment, right? We've all said it. Mm-hmm. DVD is a big cog in this recruitment. To the point where they actually switched, I think, on the website that DVD recruited him and not Coach Adai, which is fair. You know what I'm saying? But I think his team, his family got whiff of, hey, well, the guy that's not recruiting your son or is not as involved, is the one who's gonna coach your son. And then the brakes got put on. Not saying that's what happened today, but I know that was an issue in the past. And we talked about it. Listen, 70% to get in here. We'll open up the chat for everybody who wants to get to 70%. The minute that you walk down the aisle, put on that ring, get married, you lose your leverage as a man. The minute Cormani McClain signs that paper, all the leverage she had to fight with is gone. Would you dot your T's and cross your I's? Maddie, talk to me, man. How you feel about it?
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of speculation right now in the building in regards to what I don't know how to say her name. Keisha. Was told during the recruiting process compared to what may be happening. That was a great analogy you put out, kind of saying that once you quote unquote put on that ring, i.e. sign that dotted line of fax those forms in, whatever leverage you did have is gone. So for him, you know, it's for those who aren't aware, there's a huge relationship between Cormani's mother as well as DVD. And maybe they were told some things on the recruiting trail that kind of leaned into the idea, the concept that they would get something that maybe they're not necessarily seeing right now from the staff. So for them,
and we 1 second, we joke about the DVD thing, but it's based on trust. Mom is big on trust, huge on trust. Mom has dropped schools because of trust. You know what I'm saying? She wants to be able to trust the person with her son. And she get that with DVD. Go ahead, Maddie.
Yeah, I know a lot of times all these other fan bases like to point out and trying to put in perspective, oh, yeah, it's the money. Money don't make everything. You heard me say it for the past 2 days now. Relationships and being genuine, which is a subcomponent of trust, carries weight in this industry and in this business, because it is a business. And when you're getting told one thing and it's looking like something else, yeah, it's probably why some things got held up. I still believe Cormani's all Kane. I just think there's some moves that's going to be happening behind the scenes that I think are putting these things on pause, that may or may not in fact involve the coaching staff as well as DVD. So that's a lot of the reason why some of this stuff is getting held up. So
what you think about it, Rich?
Well, throughout the recruiting cycle, you know, DVD and Cormani's mom has been able to embrace each other and really form a great relationship, and that's great. However, right now, come signing day, this is like you said, where you either lose your leverage or, as they say in the real estate investing community, you make your money when you buy the house, not when you sell it. So right now is the time where she gotta buy into all those things that they've been selling her, and either she's gonna come out on top or they're gonna come out on top. It's still a win-win for them if DVD is on the field. So I would say for her, she has to make sure that DVD is indeed on the field and use her leverage while she can, because once Kamani signs, she can't use that leverage no more. I think they'll get it done, but this is just a nuance, you know. But before you leave that car dealership, make sure they put those floor mats in your car, because once you drive off the lot, they're gonna give you all type of excuses why they can't give you them new floor mats. So it is what it is.
They see. I knew that came up a couple of weeks ago in the recruiting. But you can only imagine, bro. There's a lot of things jumping in here. You know what I'm saying? Florida has been getting beat to death by Miami in recruiting. And I'm sure to get the number one player in the nation, they may be willing to jack up the whole NIL market. and just jack it up the whole NIL market. There's a lot of things at play here. You know, it could be something simple. It could be something simple like, hey, now there's a lot more people involved with there was a lot more people involved with him being the player he is. We want them all to be here for the day. Like I said before, the word I got is that we were straight, that we was good. If it is something simple, I mean, it took big cojones to stop that because once you say, hey, we ain't committing today, you know what I'm saying, the brakes fall off on the internet and Drew start popping Quaaludes and it's just people start going crazy on Canes Unfiltered and people start going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Drew. People start losing their mind. Cal, you gotta take on it, bro.
Nah, all y'all summed it up nicely. Like you say, you got to keep the leverage you have, and more importantly for a mom, she got to make sure her son is in the right hands. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, DVD gonna have constant and consistent access to him. There has to be something to that whole on the field role for it to be so important that you can use it as a negative recruiting tool. And so she's just trying to, and and whether that's true or not, you know what I'm saying? Whether he is going to have the ultimate access, she don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she knows about the game and everything else, but she never been a football coach at a Power 5 program. So anything that they tell her, she can't take it with a grain of salt. She got to understand exactly what they're saying. So if more than one coach is telling her that, then she got to make sure, hey, I need him on the field, even if it don't mean as much as she thinks. She don't know that.
Right.
So she got to do her due diligence. So, it's all good.
They I know, because even we was trying to figure out on the field, off the field, what he can do, what he can't do. All the coaches on the sideline during the game, is he not supposed to walk by while he got a chalkboard in his hand? We was trying to figure it out, like you know what I'm saying, the power. But I guess it just, I mean, if you just logically look at it, Coach Adai doesn't get the credit for recruiting number one cornerback in the nation. You know what I'm saying? Then another coach does. I don't know if he cares about this stuff or not. You know what I'm saying? I haven't talked to him. But think about that. And then she as a mom has to send her son to both of these coaches. It's a lot of moving parts that go into it, man. But it could be something simple. You know what I'm saying? It could be something simple. Listen, we're trying to get to 70% likes. Any surprises today, bro? Kinsler, we got Kinsler. We heard Colorado was after Kinsler.
I'm hearing
Colorado after everybody, like the boogeyman. Colorado like the damn boogeyman. They after everybody, under everybody's bed. It seemed like it.
Yeah, they gonna end up like Florida. I mean, they don't have the money.
It's cold under that bed, bro. Too
I'm
cold under
telling
that
you.
bed.
Like
I'm
I
glad.
like Deion, but you know, I would never, even if because we're talking about Cormani going to Colorado because Deion over there. You still got to go head to head with the people you got in practice. So, are you really willing to bet your future on that?
What? On what?
I guess he's
You
trying to
talking?
say you get better in
Rich
practice.
fail?
I think
What happened to
the
him? Wait,
devil
wait. What the hell just
My
happened,
devil
bad,
kicked
my
him
dog?
out
bad,
the
my bad.
devil kicked him out the
Devil.
lake house.
What
I think
happened to
he's
the
trying
boy?
to say I think he's trying to say, and Rich, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's trying to say, you get better by who you're facing in practice.
Yeah,
And if you're not facing, good enough competition, you ain't gonna never get no better. I think that's what he's trying to say.
absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, how many years is it going to take to get adequate competition on that roster over at Colorado, and then who are you going to play? So at Miami, you got dogs who came in last year. You got dogs who coming in this year. It just makes sense. So people talk about the Colorado chatter, but I would say pump the brakes a little bit if you're a recruit because it's Power Five versus Power Five. So I think we straight on that. But I would say the most surprising thing is Florida going head to head with UCF and UCF winning twice.
Who were the kids? Do y'all know the kids?
Both on defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, one was
Hmm.
a 3-star defensive end. The other, I'm not entirely sure.
See,
Apologize.
this is this is what we was talking about, like, and it's early. Things are just getting put in place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying anything negative, anything bad. But this is what we was talking about with Dion moving from Jackson to Colorado. It's it's gonna be a little tough because now and it's not like you weren't going against Saban for, like, say, a Travis Hunter or what have you, right?
Right.
But you in a whole nother bracket right now. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some big boy ball. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a lot of fighting going on. It's gonna be a lot of things that I don't know if he has everything he needs for it. Like, he has the best name. You know what I'm saying? Prime is gonna sell himself. I don't know about Colorado's money. I would assume they should have money from all the weed they've been selling. Like, somebody,
Right, right,
some,
right. They
somebody
got
got to have some of that money around campus somewhere. But
right.
man, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. Like, it's like saying, like, okay, I can go play for Prime, right? But it's a difference between, I go play for Prime and I look at all this cool stuff they got going on in Jackson State. But going to Colorado is a little different. I can't say it like that, but I'm gonna have to say it like this. There's probably less allure to go to Colorado than it is to go to a Jackson. Because I'm going to Jackson, I'm going for what he's creating. It's like something new. This is da 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 da. And I'm going to Colorado. Yes, it's P5, but it's cold in the bit of here. They ain't been no good in a long time, and we might not be able to be as free as we would be at a Jackson. Like, you can sell me on the freedom of a Jackson. Don't know if you can do it at Colorado. So somebody might say, well, what's the difference between me going to Colorado and me going to staying in Florida or going to Bama or something like that?
Right.
That's just one side to look at it. I'm not saying I'm right in that at all. I'm just saying it's gonna be a different battle for Deion. That's all.
Right. You think the lure is you think the lure was better to go to Colorado? I mean, to Jackson, Mississippi, than it was
I'm
to go
not
to
trying to say it
Colorado?
like that. I'm not trying to
Huh?
say it like that. I just don't know how else to say it. That's not really what I want to say. But I think there's something. Okay, let's look at it like this. It's like if you a rapper, if somebody says, "Hey man, won't you come over here? Come over here to to Def Jam or whatever, one of these big labels, right?" But you gotta Master P before he's Master P, or Cash Money before they Cash Money, and say, "Look, Lil one, you come over here. We starting this. This gonna be our own. We gonna have our own distribution. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. Ain't nobody can't
Right.
tell us what to do. Nobody can tell you. Nobody can control your art over here. Let's put it that way. Nobody can
Right.
control your art over here. It's just like being independent over here. It's just that, you working with somebody that's just like you, and we're gonna allow you to do what you want to do. Whereas the record label gonna go through all your songs and say, nope, you can't put that out, you can't put that out, you can't put that out. You can't tour here, you can't work here. Like I just saw an interview the other day, an old interview where Quavo said he was talking about how many songs they got with Young Thug, and he said Leo Cohen blocked them from doing them. So if you come over here with me and Cash Money, we ain't gonna block you from doing nothing with nobody unless we got legit reasons. We ain't gonna look at it like I don't want you hanging out with this guy because he's a bad person or da, da, da. You know what I mean? So that's the only way I can kind of compare it.
Kind of like the freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know if they. I don't even realize. I don't even know if they knew they had that when they went to Jackson State. I think they got there and developed it. It was like, oh crap, like they had free reign. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they realized it. It's probably like one of those things that you don't realize until you don't have it. Until Shador tries to post on Colorado Instagram. They're like, hey, wait a minute, buddy. What are we doing? What are we doing? Right. Antoine Jackson just committed.
Okay. Yeah, they probably sent Shador. It said, or sent some to Deion and said, hey, can your son post something a little less urban? We don't want to,
No.
Right.
That's when it's going downhill. That's the beginning of it going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
We're not as urban as you guys. Oh.
So the Georgia State transfer from Thomas Gore just I guess gave his allegiance to Miami.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Yeah. Go ahead, Street.
What? Yeah, go ahead. That's him right there. Y'all go ahead and talk about.
Now you was gonna talk about him. Go ahead.
I was just saying they landed Thomas Gore. I mean, Rich just beat me to it. I was trying to get it up there, and Rich beat me to it. We've been talking about this guy.
We did once before.
Not really.
270 pounds. 6
Not
foot,
much.
huh? No?
Not much. Not really. Mm-mm.
Now he's 6 feet 270.
Right.
He's got to be a dog.
He's probably like one of those depth guys, like a tweener.
93 total tackles, 11 sacks. Over his career, last year, 2020, he had 38 tackles and 5 sacks.
Yeah, those are really good numbers for a D tackle.
It's not bad at all. As long
those are good numbers.
Yeah, as long as he provides solid depth.
Okay.
Yeah, he should be a solid pickup for us.
They played South Carolina. He had 1 tackle. They played in game 1. Damn, they played North Carolina. He had 4 tackles. They played Charlotte. Coastal Carolina was good this year.
They weren't making much noise this year.
They weren't as good as last year, but they were solid. They had that quarterback that Florida was trying to get. No, that was Tulane. Tulane.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were okay. They weren't great, but they were solid.
They had a damn good schedule.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking he played against lesser talent, right? And then you look at the schedule: South Carolina, North Carolina, App State, Southern Miss,
James Madison,
right, and Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a pretty good assessment on him if they're watching the film. I'm sure they did. Shout out to CeeLo. Shout out to CeeLo, just became a member. We're trying to get the likes up to 70%. Let's see where we at.
And we were doing good before. We had 49 likes before the show started. Now we got 400 watching and 128 likes.
Cormani McClain just decommitted. It's gonna be hard. I mean, he didn't decommit. I'm sorry. He just paused his commitment.
I was gonna say, bro, you know what you just did? Oh my god.
It's gonna be hard, though. It's gonna be hard to catch them likes. A lot of people jumping here.
Yeah, we way out, y'all. Come on now. We got 410 watching and 148 likes. Hey,
It's gonna
look,
be
something
hard.
y'all
They
gotta
coming in.
listen. Something y'all gotta understand when we talking about these likes. We ain't crying about likes. It takes certain things to do these shows. You know what I'm saying? Money, resources, and you got to be able to be in the algorithm. YouTube got to see that you're doing something. Y'all getting a lot of nice free content.
Right.
So all you gotta do is hit the like button. Hit them
That's it.
over.
Free content.
It's
So
it's
I want to talk
it's
about
free.
Torrin Jackson because we thought that Torrin Jackson was doing a lot of stuff these last couple of days.
He was. I was never fully concerned. Knowing the circle around him, I don't think he was just gonna sit there and play around with something as serious as recruitment. He did today, which is kind of odd. Like just seeing guys who've been committed like fairly recently, and even guys who've been committed for a while, kind of play the hat game. But I get it, man. These guys are just trying to enjoy their process. I can't be too mad at them. You know what I'm saying? It always takes me back a little bit because I'm like, why'd you feel like you need to do that? You could just commit it. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal, if we're being honest. Some people though, they let this stuff. I gotta say this to the fans, man. Stop letting this stuff ruin y'all day, man. Some of y'all like
Preaching to the choir.
y'all got lives that y'all need to be living, man. Y'all got families and kids to look after. Please stop letting this dictate how the rest of your day is gonna go, because it's you don't need your day ruined by hearing the kid decided to come here or not. Like, you truly don't. So just let things play out. You know what I'm saying? Kid comes here, great. Kid doesn't, that's great too. I don't know where y'all been, but I've been around. I've seen quite a few guys who flew the coop, and we wasn't even like we were. Think about how many signing days y'all watch recruits pick up hats and fling them across the room that got the UM logo on it. Those things aren't happening. I can't think of a time where I wasn't anxiously biting my nails about if a kid was gonna send an LOI in. You know what I'm saying? And I remember what's that kid's name? He ended up playing for the Ravens. Alex something. Alex Collins.
Yes,
I remember.
Collins.
I remember that
It was a long time
like
ago.
it was yesterday. Like, I remember, like, just if it don't look like that, then I'm good, because that was baffling. Like, watching that whole thing and following it on Twitter was insanity. And as long as it don't look like that, then at the end of the day, man, we're good. Just let things play out. It's really not that serious. Just enjoy the process, man. Like they trying to. You know what I'm saying? It's really as simple as that.
But it was his mom, right? Like his mom didn't want him to go.
It was between his mom and his dad, but then like
Yeah, his mom and dad.
His head coach was like getting offered a job at Arkansas, and he had a close relationship with the head coach and both of his parents, or something crazy like that. So I don't know, man. He says his mom ran up in there like a banshee, snatched them the LOI off the table and ran around the gym with it or something. I don't know, something crazy like that. But it threw me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as long as it don't look like that, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's probably got to be one of the wildest recruitment stories I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Just relax. You'll be fine. I promise.
That's funny, dog. You went back to Alex Collins. But another thing I would like to y'all to think about. Because I love to do this. Think about today, and we're gonna watch the film on Gore. This is Gore in high school. But just think about today, right? Think about today, and think about Cormani McClain, the number one DB in the nation, and how bad y'all want him. And we can go back to 2020. When I asked James Williams, did Miami have a chance, and he said yes. And everybody was like, I don't know, man. Versus Georgia versus Miami. He went on a visit to Georgia, and he came back and he commits to Miami. Everybody happy. I remember when he first walked on campus with DeMarcus Van Dyke. I remember the video. He hits a couple people with his shoulders a couple years later. And y'all telling them to transfer. That's what y'all be asking people to sign up to. You know what I'm saying? So y'all want to hold them. They want to dot their I's and cross their T's. Yeah, because this is what they're about to walk into. Y'all wanted James Williams just as bad. If I'm lying, I'm flying.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman All-American, doesn't play as well in the second year. I've seen people say he should transfer, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Keep this same energy, dog, because these kids, you know what I'm saying? These kids, a lot of them come from nothing, and they trying to make it. So keep the same energy when you like today. Keep the same energy for Cormani if he starts struggling. All right, can y'all do that? I'm just talking to a wall. It's like talking to the wall. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna listen to me, but I'm just preaching right now. Everybody say amen.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Just keep the same energy, but it's not going to happen. But I just want y'all to look at it as it happens in real time. You know what I'm saying? If he come back and commit tomorrow, everybody's all happy. Hallelujah. First time he get bombed, man, he overrated. And then it starts. and then it begins.
It's another jet I saw in 2025. He could come in there and start right away, right over him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it begins. But you want his mama to be nice today. Be nice. Make him commit, Mom. Man, protect your child's sanity, dog. Do what you got to do to make this shit right. I'm all for it, bro.
Right.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, man, tonight we're going to get on and X will wrap it up. Signing day tonight in the space. No surprises today, right? We have been hearing a lot about Hakeem Williams. But I heard he faxed his LOI to Florida State. Miami has been going hard, dog. Hard at a lot of these kids. Brandon Ennis got up early this morning and assured that he was going to play with Heartline at Ohio State. There was no question in that one. You know what I'm saying? I told you about Brandon Ennis, how he chooses schools. All the rumblings we were hearing is because you got to tip your hat to Miami and the staff, bro. They actually shaking cages and going after kids like they, even with 5 wins, like, hey, we could make it better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what all the rumblings you're hearing.
We getting into rooms that we don't deserve to get into. Like, we don't even deserve the kids that we have, bro. We really don't. Like, when we're talking about what we've done to make somebody want to come to UM, like, we did nothing. So we in a lot of rooms we don't deserve to be in. So we got to be happy.
Yeah, because like I said to the Villains last night, we had old signing day eve last night for the Villains, man. We was on there late last night. I was there dirt tired. If I would have told y'all 6 months ago, man, that we were going to have Cormani McClain in his class, we was going to have Mark Fletcher, Chiapon, whatever, then we were going to have Pancake. And that's just 4. If I would have told y'all that 6 months ago, y'all would have been like, I'm straight, I'm good. I'm good with that. Y'all would have been straight. But recruiting is the gift that keeps on giving. And it's like you can never have enough when it comes to recruiting. We could be number 1 and they'll be saying, how did we get to 0? What Texas A&M did? That's what we want to do. We want to do what Texas A&M did.
We need 9 5-stars because they have 8.
Recruiting is the gift that keeps on giving, dog. It really is. So at this point, man, after signing day is over, things should get interesting when it comes to the coaching staff. And we're going to see what's really about to happen when it comes to the coaching staff. Hearing a lot of different things about coaches staying, coaches not going, Mario not changing the staff. And I think a lot of it will happen after signing day. Mm-hmm. Why does it have to happen after signing day? Because coaches play games too. That's what happens at the signing day. Because coaches play games too. Well, there's Antoine Jackson. Antoine Jackson should be walking on Green Tree in a week or two, a few weeks, maybe next week, with Similac still around his mouth. Antoine is sick. What, he's 16 years old?
16. Yeah.
16. One of them little girls touch Antoine? It's rape. He's 16 years old. Who gonna protect Antoine out there? Like, who's protecting Antoine?
I call them because it happened to me. I just tell them how to get through it. Don't worry about it. We ain't got to get the police involved, Twan. I tell you.
Whoa. What happened? What happened to you, dog?
Man, look, y'all, we ain't gonna we not gonna get to no long discussion, but like that whole thing, like older women, bro, some of them have the same desires as older men. Nah, he went to college early. Like, when you talking about college, we just talking about life.
Oh, just life, period.
Yeah, life.
Somebody said you ain't saying nothing because unless she ugly. Let's leave that alone.
Chris Young be on his.
That's true.
Chris Young be on his. Chris Young a comedian, dog. Money and DVD need to commit on the same day. Do y'all think we need a lot of coaches? Do y'all think we need a lot of coaching changes or a little? What y'all think?
A couple tweaks here and there. A couple.
I think a little. Not too much.
You can say a couple tweaks here and there. I think we gotta do something with us. Listen, I don't know with the injuries and stuff, but something has to change there, right? Less practicing, less stress. I don't know.
Or getting more, better prep during the off season. Teaching kids how to take care of their body more.
Yeah, because I'm not sure what went on there, man. But we can't. I may have flashbacks to start getting hurt early next season. So let's see how many we got in so far. If y'all didn't know, last night we started hearing rumblings that Kinsler was being looked at by Colorado. X went as far as saying that, man, listen, Kinsler we may lose Kinsler. It was some real smoke. There was some real smoke going on. I got Cormani McClain is trending on Twitter. That's what it does. That's what it does when you say, nah, we ain't gonna commit today. This boy is trending on Twitter.
Name, image, likeness.
This what Cormani McClain Twitter say. I got a sad story too. Nobody gives a fuck. Grind harder. That boy's trending. That's what's up. Why is Rashad trending?
Did he sign yet?
Is his LOI faxed in already?
There's I got Edwin Joseph. There you go, Rich.
No, he hasn't signed yet.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he signed yet. But
They say go ahead.
There's your boy right there, Rich. No, you good.
Yeah, I was about to say he ain't. He not. What's his name? Rashada not signing with Florida. I guess is what they're saying. You talking about Ed Joseph? He signed with Florida State.
Yep. Rashada not flying with Georgia. We just gonna run over that. We just gonna run. He's not signing with Florida.
Well, I mean, he hasn't signed yet, but I mean, it's still early on the West Coast. It's what time is 1 o'clock here? So it's over there. It's what
9 o'clock, 8 o'clock,
10,
9 o'clock,
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
It's not even lunchtime yet.
Edwin Joseph. I wonder if they took Florida State took him as a cornerback or a wide receiver.
It's a good question. He's gonna be good over there.
I like Edwin Joseph. Let's see. Let's see who was the last person to jump in for the Canes. If you're watching on Twitter or if you're watching on Facebook, y'all come on over. Shout out to Vernon Wright, just became a member. If you're watching on Twitter and Facebook, y'all gonna have to come over. Come on over to the YouTube. Let's see. We heard some smoke last night on Antoine Jackson and Chris Johnson, right? That's what we were talking about last night.
Gary Furman, old line ass.
Space tonight, 7:30. The fastest player in the nation, Christopher Johnson, sizes LOI. Per Caneville.
We needed that.
Who Chris Johnson remind y'all of? Who did he remind y'all of? Chris Johnson? The Tennessee kid? The Tennessee guy?
I gotta see him first. Blue was talking about it, and Blue was saying because we rave on like the speed and the track speed. And he was like he has to learn how to play running back. I think people don't understand that. Like I haven't seen him. I have to go back and look at some of his tape. But like Blue was basically saying like he's not really a running back yet. Like running backs you can't just put a guy back there because he's fast and just expect him to be good. He got to be able to have a vision, be able to cut and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I gotta see.
But what I've seen in him, he doesn't have to learn how to do is get to that touchdown. He's the type of kid you put him in space and he outruns everybody. I saw him in that first quarter versus Chaminade catch a screen pass. And it's one of those instances where he gets to the corner and you like, I didn't think he had that much space over there. Mm-hmm. And he's gone. So I've been hearing he has to learn how to play running back for a long time now. Actually getting the ball but I think he's considered a playmaker, bro. That's what I believe. How much does he weigh? He's really small, ain't he?
175, something like that.
Right. Yeah. How are we using him? Like what?
I mean, you're gonna run him towards the edges, and he's also gonna catch passes. The one thing that I do see is he has the vision to like be elusive, where he doesn't let people straight up hit him.
Uh-huh.
The thing that he would need to learn is to run behind his pads and run with a little bit more leverage, the forward lean, if you will. Of course, pass protection. Yes, definitely. But those are why he's not a true back. But I would say sometimes when you have a guy like that, you could make him into a back, or you could take the Percy Harvin approach, where he's just that jackrabbit. He's that guy who is going to touch the ball 10 times, but in those 10 times could score 2 to 3 times. So if you had a guy on your team who could touch the ball 10 times a game and score and potentially score 3 times, would you rather him do that, or would you rather him gear him up to take 16 to 18 carries a game for 4 yards in a cloud of dust?
Right.
So we got backs who could do that. We signed Mark Fletcher, which, by the way, Mark Fletcher, just based on our depth chart, could also get the opportunity to play real quick at Miami, in my opinion.
Mark, what you got in front of him? Dunn.
Of course, Don, Parrish, Citizen. If he can come back in time. So yeah, but you don't know what he's gonna look like coming back from an injury, a torn ACL. Citizen, I'm talking about. So that's factored in there too.
Watch this play. This is the speed you can't. I don't know. You just can't. You don't. You don't teach. You don't teach this fast. This is fast. Watch this. Look like the rest of them was running on a field full of mud or something, right?
Yeah.
So that's Chris Johnson. Let's see. So that's Chris Johnson. Collins has committed. 1,000 likes on my Kane fans. Don't mess this up. Keisha and Cormani, let Keisha and Cormani go through their process. Don't start with the BS. This is a huge decision. Don't help them make it being overly emotional. Chill. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And then the replies are just, it's like, all right, man, why did I even try? Who else we got in? Let's see. Safety Caleb Spencer signs his LOI. Tight end Riley Williams, Antonio Tripp. We know that he was Samson signs his, Carver signs his, Bobby and Robbie. And I think it goes to the Malik Bryant, Ruben Bain. I think Fletcher, Joshua Horton, Jaden Wayne. Let me see how many likes we got. Oh, we close. We got 434 and 250. Rich.
We need 280.
280.
Yep. $20 more likes.
Who's the biggest surprise in the class? Is it Cormani? If he commits?
That would be.
Even though we knew we had a shot with him, we had the DVD long shot.
Yeah, I would say so, because when was the last time we signed I think he's the number 2 or number 3 player in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember when we signed a player that high before.
You mean that high rated?
Yeah, that highly rated.
Ray Robinson said the 2 O linemen.
Yeah, they're highly rated, but they're not number 1 and number 2 in the country. Out of the top 100, not at their position, but overall.
They say everybody's signed, but Cormani and Francis.
Yeah.
They said we need another Australian punter. Heck no. If y'all just getting here, man, you just going on break at work or something. Cormani McClain pauses his commitment after being committed to the University of Miami. He's trending on Twitter. And I think, as we just confirmed, him and Francis are the only two that haven't signed. Does Francis have a ceremony or something set up? Let's see.
Yeah, he does. He's doing it over there in the American Samoas with his family. That's why he wasn't at IMG in Florida, because the season's over. He went back home, so that's why it took him a little longer to get up and put out information about his recruitment.
Frankie Tenderloo was another one that X thought wouldn't be in the class, but then when we struck out on right. We struck out on all his alignment. X was like, then that's when he just realized that Frankie would be in the class. I got to meet Frankie. Frankie acts like he's 26 years old. Frankie act like a grown man, though. Like, I got to meet Frankie. Frankie definitely acts grown. I saw him play against Edison. Both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I think he had a sack. He's going to have a learning curve on offense to learn how to play the position.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a huge, big, mobile kid, and you really can't really teach that.
Y'all tracking on Sam Kufu?
Who? Sam?
Sam Kufu?
Kufu. Talk to us, man. Give us some more intel. What's going on with Sam Kufu?
6'2", 250-pound defensive lineman out of Kettle Moraine High School. I've never heard of this person.
Kofa?
Koufal, Coufal.
Okay.
He's on Twitter. They just put in the group chat. He's on Twitter. Everybody in their mouth posting with the U up. Chris Young says he's a walk-on.
A walk-on?
Got it.
From Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Kettle Moraine.
Oh, yeah, I remember this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he committed back in November 3rd. Okay, yeah. The name sounded familiar, but I don't know. I guess it threw me off because I saw the what's called. Yeah, he's a PWO. Right. Shout out to Sean Rounds, man.
With Sean Rounds in his piece.
30 piece, man.
With a 30 piece. Shout out to Sean Rounds with the $30. What song we need? Mature young man. Yeah, Frankie Tenderloo is definitely mature. Mario is recruiting the guys with the business and no nonsense. Mario and staff, they are recruiting a different kid, a different mindset. And it's intentional too. Intelligent kid, they're recruiting strong-minded kids, kids from winning programs for the most part. It's something that I don't recall in the past. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Maybe with Mark Richt. I don't recall paying attention to literally that. It seemed as if Miami was just, I've heard them say it, getting who will come. We want kids that want to be kings. And when they used to say that, I did not understand that concept, that process. I did not understand. Somebody said kids like kitchens.
Want me to break it down?
Break it down, dog. Kids that want to be kings.
Kids that want to be kings translates to I did not think I had a shot to recruit a kid who actually wanted to be a king, because people who are more experienced in getting these types of people here, or getting these types of people at their schools, are also recruiting said kid. So I'm going to take the guys who have offers that are maybe not from those schools that are still high enough to keep my recruiting classes somewhat above water. That then translates to a man by the name of Daryl Streeter asking me why my recruiting class has consistently been second in the ACC behind Clemson, yet the results do not translate to the second highest rated recruiting class in the ACC year in and year out. Well, it's because the kids that were going to Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan, etc., probably wanted to be Canes, but either A, got no offer, B, stopped getting talked to midway through the process, or C, we just did a poor job of establishing a relationship from the jump, and then at the last minute, at the 12th hour, try to come back and say, hey, we are still interested if you're looking at other schools, which does not work. When I saw one of the first NLIs getting sent in from Jaden Wayne, who's been relatively quiet during the entire recruiting process, right?
Yep, he has been.
But he's the first one, and then you always hear the story about, Mario been recruiting me since 8th grade. That's what recruiting looks like. Not let me come and sneak in December, in November of your senior year and say, hey, man, you still interested? You know what I'm saying? Miami still could take you. You know what I'm saying? No, absolutely not. It's not how it works. That's the answer. And then you smack the new Miami, you smack the transfer portal at it, and then you throw out stuff like, we want kids who want to be Canes. Cut it out. Cut it out. We're not doing that. Baffling. Who was the receivers coach at that time? DK Metcalf wanted to come here.
That was back in the day, yeah. That was back in the day.
Yeah, that was like 2016, I think.
And what they told him, we didn't have no space or something, right?
Something crazy like that. I don't know. Manny don't get the blame for that one because that wasn't Manny. That was a Mark Rick situation.
He grew a lot. I think his freshman year of college.
I can believe that.
Did y'all know that? Like, he didn't look like that coming out of high school. Yeah, he didn't look like that coming out of high school. He told it to not David Chappelle, to the little short guy when they were sitting in the tub, when they sit in the cold tub.
Oh, together.
Kevin Hart. Yeah, he grew. Let me see. You know what we could do? It's 2022, dog. I think he grew something crazy, bro, like a foot or something.
That would be insane if you see a guy walk on campus with his rolling luggage and his containers, and then you see him a year later and he an entire foot taller than he was when he arrived. That's insane.
I've seen it happen twice. It happened to the Duke kid, the white kid whose dad was his dad used to call the college games, and what is his name? And I saw it happen to Parsons. Remember Parsons, Chandler Parsons?
Mm-hmm.
Chandler Parsons came to state in his junior year. Came back to state with the same team. They were loaded. Nobody recognized who Chandler Parsons was when they came back to state as his senior year. He had grew a foot, and he was the fastest kid on the field, and they beat Dillard by 40, dog, in the first round of state. And nobody recognized him because he had grew so big.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it happened.
He must have switched positions then, right? Because he was like a stand-up linebacker rush in for the Cardinals, right?
Who?
Chandler Parsons?
No. Chandler Parsons, the basketball player.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
He played for the
white
Suns?
kid that played for Houston. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Basketball, I see that happen more often than anything, but football, that's crazy. Typically, you still grow from a muscular standpoint, but usually by your senior year, you pretty much senior year, maybe skipping to your freshman college year, you start seeing your most growth, or you kind of tap out or cap out. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting.
He said he was 5'10" in high school and went to college and grew to 6'4". That's just a totally different dude.
Yeah, I figured it would have been like 6 or 7 inches. Pause.
That's a totally different dude, dog.
Yeah,
that's what happened to JJ Watt.
Is it? Well, he grew. When did he grow?
When he got to, I think when he got to college. I thought that's why he went to a smaller school. He had that same "I wanted to go to UM" story, and that he was small coming out, whatever. And when he went to whatever school he grew, it was something crazy. Matter of fact, let me look it up right now.
Here's DK Metcalf in high school right here. Look.
You know what that means? The dog Ray about to be 6'3". No, I'm just kidding.
Who about to be 6'3"?
Ray about to hit 6'3" on these boys.
I hope so. See, this 22, man. We go look at DK Metcalf in high school.
That boy Robbie about to get whatever Bobby got that he didn't. Next year. It's over with.
I've seen some weird growing. Listen, man. Earl Little was a small kid in youth football. Patrick Surtain was a small kid in youth football, and I saw him as a junior, maybe a senior, one day on the field. I was like, who is that? And he had grew to be 6'2", 6'3", and he was a little skinny, scrawny kid. Earl Little was an undersized kid his entire youth football, even when he first got the American Heritage.
It happens, and it happens the weirdest times. I already told you, like, I got a nephew, man. My nephew is 2018. He couldn't be taller than 5'5", 5'6". I deployed. I came back. He's 6'3", 6'4". I don't get it. I was like, what? Like, yeah, he could play. He could be a tight end, but he focused on soccer. So.
It looked like DK Metcalf playing against the house of the. Looked like he playing against the house of the blind. Why does it look like everybody come out of Mississippi ain't playing against nobody? Didn't we have the same thing with Kamari Rogers?
Yeah, I could believe that. But that's true. You also biased, so you go everywhere. You think everybody else's football is mid compared to ours. So
I'm just walking and run past people's kids. That's what I'm watching.
Yeah,
I'm watching them run past these little Timmys. These little Timmys out here.
Yeah, look at like even in this. He looks significantly bigger on that catch than the guy who was defending him. Yeah, what do you mean he was? There's no way he was 5'10". If he was 5'10", everybody else got to be midgets, because ain't no way. He probably at this point.
They say he was 5'10" and he started growing in high school. And they say he started growing in high school. He said it out himself in the tub with Isn't this cool? We can go watch DK Metcalf play in high school, though.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
So listen, man. The chat. Let me see.
I know y'all want to talk. There it is.
I know y'all want to talk.
Ambulance.
The inmates are free. The inmates are free.
The villains are free.
Villains always free. They ain't villains. That's why they were
Being here
locked up.
holding it down. That chat don't be losing nothing with the villains. The villains being there holding it down, boy.
Yeah, they ain't here doing their thing.
In the group, man, I don't even put stuff no more, man. I'm late. Whatever I try to put in there, I'm late. Yeah, them dudes are too fast in the group me with that information.
I know.
Too fast.
Now you had your Twitter fingers going today with the because I think you was giving out
305 talking about figure 305.
I think you was putting out the you putting out the updates for the NL Lives faster than Kings was this morning.
That's X.
Oh,
we had Quentin Blackman ask, "Why can't I become a member?"
Why can't he?
I was having trouble trying to get those guys get the link for the members and then get the link for members that can't get in the group me. I copied all the links. They just not going to the right places, I guess. I don't know, bro.
Okay, so real fast, when you're trying to go on the group me, right? And we may eventually go into Discord. Download the group me app first. Don't let it take you to go download the app. Download the app first. Already be in the app. People. We have a group me. This is how it's set up. We have a group me that's in all day long. It's information in there all day long. We talking all day long. But every now and then, like last night, we get in the Discord and we rent out a room at IOD and we get in the Discord so we can talk through voice. But for the most part, the group me is where we always at. So, because I see a lot of people, they join and they be like, "Hey, where the Discord at?" No, we're not. That's the Discord. We just go over there every now and then, a couple times a week, once a week. The group me is where all the information is, and on the member section of the YouTube. But YouTube handles that with the alerts and stuff. So listen, man, who in the class? Who in the class right now? You guys have doubts about that? You think, hey, man, I don't know about dog. Rich, who you got doubt about, Rich?
If I had to say anybody, and I really hate to do it, I would say Frankie. And the only reason is because of his experience. And he, from a size perspective, he's where he needs to be. But from I guess he isn't as highly rated. But I'm just going based on rankings. I'm not even going based on film or anything. So that would be the person I'm concerned with. But I mean, he got a couple of years to get where he needs to go.
Shout out to Coach Hayes. Coach Hayes here. You got any doubts, Maddie? Anybody you doubt with? You got any doubts, Kyle? Man, anybody?
To kind of push back against Rich, I actually think that's the shout out to Guwap becoming a YouTube member. I actually think Frankie probably got the highest ceiling of all the linemen in the class because he has room to fill out. Like, he's raw, but that's one of those guys you take and mold into a piece of clay in the mirror ball, into an all conference type lineman. The other guys kind of already come with the ability to kind of plug and play right now. They just got to get tweaked. But yeah, Frankie has a lot of
upside.
He has a lot of room for growth because he is so raw. He's huge. I mean, you can't teach 6'6". Was he 285-ish? Right, a shade in the 300.
6'6", 285.
But I'm gonna be completely honest with you. In the past, I would have had a lot of guys I probably would have scratched my head about. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Thomas Gore. If you put a gun in my head and made me pick, but I just trust his coaching staff's ability to evaluate talent so well that I don't think we would put out an offer to a guy that didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like under the previous regime, a lot of guys would have been like, I don't know. But so far, yeah, Thomas Gore is probably the only guy that I'm like, Because to me, his size screams like he's like Nesta, basically. Nesta, but like 13 pounds lighter.
Right.
Which I thought is what we was trying to get away from when you see a guy like Josh Horton that just signed today, and Leonard Taylor. I thought you didn't want those type of people, but we kind of already chalked him up to being a depth guy, rotational guy. So we'll see.
So what's up? What time does Damari commit again? It's this afternoon, right?
I saw something that said he commits at 8 p.m. like on a champs event, it's like a champ sports event or something like that.
Oh, he's going to commit at champs?
No. I'm wrong. That's Hussey. That's Hussey doing that. Hussey's committing at 8 p.m. Eastern at a champ sports event.
Oh, that's right down the street.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure when Damari commits.
I have it right here. Let me see. I have a schedule right here.
Shout out to Nonstop. I'm gonna look at him. I'm probably gonna watch
Damari at 3:15.
If 365 Canes football does a breakdown, I'll definitely watch it. He probably is because that dude working overtime. I will always question level of competition, but I mean that can always translate. So yeah, I am looking at measurables right now solely off of that. Not saying it's the right thing. I'm just looking at the opportunity for him to come here and make a legitimate impact, if that makes sense. So,
Kyle, you got any questions about anybody on anybody you think need to? Got any questions about anybody in the class?
Gun to my head, it would be the same. Those two same people that they just discussed. Other than that, I don't. Even with them, I don't really see like Mehdi said. We probably chalked up the D tackle to being a depth guy. I mean, I understand wanting to get away from a certain size or whatever, but if you can play, you can play. If they see he can be effective, he can be effective. Let's just say if he was bringing in another Nesta, I'd be happy. I love Nesta's production when he was on. Same thing with Frankie. Frankie's kind of new to the game, relatively new to the game, and Frankie kind of got a dad bod already. So I don't know about that one,
but a dad bod.
Yeah, but he also has a dad mentality too. He plays rugby on his dad's team, so you know what I'm saying. Frankie is a grown man. I mean, like I say, gun to my head, it'll have to be those two. But honestly, no. Everybody's size and type, the film. I don't, from the guys that I saw, I think I see most of these guys film, except for like Chris Johnson's. But other than that, nah, I don't have a worry right now. Let guys develop.
Right. I got a couple I'm going to put up right here. Let me see.
Davius, he made a fair point. And that's kind of just like what my stance is. He said, y'all would kill the last staff for taking a 5'11", 265-pound DT. That's a fair point.
You said what? Say it again?
That we would kill the last staff for taking a 5'11", 265-pound defensive tackle.
That's not true.
He's 5'11".
We didn't kill him for Allen Hay. We didn't kill him for Allen Hay. No. We got Allen Hay, didn't we?
Wait, he's 5'11"?
That's what he's saying in the chat.
No,
look at these stats.
He's not 5'11". I thought he's like 6'2".
No, he's 6.
No, he's 6 foot. That's why I say he's like Nesta.
I thought he was 6'2".
6'2", 6'1". He was 6'2" in high school. He was 6'2" in high school. He was 6'1" in Georgia.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
He's like 6'1". But Allen Hay, how big was Allen Hay?
Oh, so he was basically like De'Aaron King, 6 foot.
Somebody say Trip the same size.
6 foot, 270. According to On3.
Then we just look him up on the street. What you just had pulled up? Then when we just looking at him on his own roster, what did it say?
6'1".
You know, the roster be lying. They the man wins that be lying. They get everybody.
Yeah, but we don't.
On the college website.
Yeah,
they do. They do.
He was 6'2".
But still, we don't know.
In high school, he lied. He was 6'2" on his huddle. He got to Georgia. He was 6'1".
I was 2 inches taller in high school too, so I get it.
Exactly.
Either way, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I was just looking at somebody.
what number do you
You know what? The one guy I would kind of worry about is Malik Bryant, and I know it sounds weird, but I think it's going to be important where we play him and how we use him. I think that's going to be important.
I would agree with that.
I agree with that too. What number this dude was?
Who?
Thomas Gore. 59. Yeah, the website says 6 foot 270.
If these boys don't look like their mama. Like 3 twins up there, don't they?
Yep.
I will say this. Prototypical size at D tackle. A lot of times you want that more for run stuffing and all that. But what if they see him as an inside pass rusher? Him being 6 foot and low to the ground might be advantageous for him. You know what I'm saying? So man, it's whatever. Right. But I agree. Like I said, I agree with Mehdi. Like that's the only way you draw a concern, because you see guys that might not be prototypical size and height and weight and stuff. But again, if we think the staff like them, then we know we got a pretty decent staff as far as evaluating talent. So,
right, I think that's what we got to hinge on, or he's somebody's cousin. Either one,
Right.
either one. Yeah, either one.
Yeah, I saw the staff bringing Kobe Young and instantly show up and not even playing spring or basically working out in the summer, and instantly became our ex. So if that staff says that guy from JUCO was going to be the guy that we're bringing in, I trust this staff wholeheartedly. So,
matter of fact, let me see.
Did anybody see this? Did anybody else catch this video right here? Wait up, let me see.
Hey, the person that became the member street, is that the same good guwap that just try to get into the group?
Has to be. I don't think we're gonna have 2 guwaps, Mehdi. That's gotta be.
When did he try to get in the group?
Gucci Man's like right now. It says from YouTube, so
that's got to be him. This was early before the show started. He was one of the first persons here. He was trying to get in. I'm sending him the links, and the shit's wasn't working.
Yeah, I accepted him. So
Got to be the same one.
you got a lot of Gucci fans in here. Gucci Man fans.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all see this video?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't. What is this?
He was a Patriots fan at the Patriots and Raiders game, and he was just cheering for his team or whatever. And the lady started getting in his face, I'm like, get out of our stadium. And then the dude got into it. He got kind of aggressive with the guy, but the dude was just like, he handled it quote unquote well. I wouldn't have handled it like that. But it was like they got ridiculous. Like the lady, she went and got her purse and moved down just so she can get next to him, cheering all in his face and all this kind of. I'm like, man, that wouldn't have been me. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I can tell you that when I lived in California, they used to. I'm talking about stacks this big of Raider tickets, and they used to put them in our Garmont room. It was a short drive down to. It was like 2.5 hours to Oakland when they were in Oakland. And them tickets would sit right there on that counter. Nobody would touch them. Because them Raider fans, they do move different. They be prepared. If you don't got hands, don't go to that. Don't go to them games. Because you will deal with something like this.
No, she was, but I was concerned about
the thing was
Huh?
But everybody kind of like everybody around them was kind of like, man, y'all sit down, like whatever. They was kind of on the guy's side, right? But I'm
Yeah.
confused. Like, why didn't anybody call security?
This
That's what I was confused about.
the guy said it was his first Patriot game he ever went to. I saw him on Instagram, man. And he said he didn't want to ruin it. He didn't want to let her ruin it either. So that's why he just didn't do anything back. But I'm gonna explain something to y'all about video, right? This is how video works. Like this is one clip of what's going on. And all we can do is narrate off of what we see. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what game this was. I don't know when it happened, but it's weird to me that she's acting like that. One, where's her husband? Who's letting their wife act like that in front of him?
Right there.
Like who's allowing that? But also,
You right there.
yeah, he's a jerk. But also, we don't know how it gets to this point. You feel what I'm saying? Like we don't know what happened before this.
Well, no, there was a TYT did an actual investigation. They got more than just that clip. They did actual, you know what I'm saying? They did the actual whole story or whatever. So it was what you seeing is that's what happened. So they corroborated the story and all that stuff. The fans around them, the guy that recorded all that stuff, they corroborated the story.
Okay, so the reason I put this up here is this: what do? It just happens to you, Cal. Go.
Depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I probably would have pushed one of them down. I probably would have waited. I probably would have said enough to her to make the husband jump in, and then I would have took it out on him. Either that, or I would have just like called security, like, "Hey, y'all, come get the police and get them up out of here or something." Because they got like she was in his face, got all up on him, whatever. The husband did too. He had him put his hand in his face, and man, that would have been an ugly scene.
What about you, Mehdi? You in the military. You can't be out here acting willy-nilly. Can't be out here just showing your behind. What would you do?
Only reason why I can't be acting willy-nilly is because his camera is out. But you get precisely one GYBD. I think you can figure out what that means. I'm trying to keep it clean. You get one.
What does GYBD mean?
Get your
think about it, street.
Get your dog, and after that, hey, I can't be held responsible. You're not gonna be in my face. We went like be a fan, like, but I understand me enough to know this is why I didn't go to the Florida State game because there's no way. I already know me enough to know I'd be reporting live from a jail cell right now on this signing day if it wasn't from my own. I understand how to regulate my emotions and when I know I can't. We all fans, short for fanatics, and there's a lot of times where, we get into what's called. But like I said, I used to tell my troops, I was like, go down there on your own behalf. Like we'll be waiting for the call. And like I said, them tickets used to sit right there because they're worse in Oakland. They're worse. That's where they get hyphy at. Like that's to see that in Vegas, like that's kind of surprising. But in Oakland, it's bad. But like I said, you get one GYBD, and then me and Kyle on the same track on the same train. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, dog. I told you.
What about you, Rich? What you doing, Rich? Because dog was really poised right there.
I mean, he was poised. I think he was a little bit too poised. In my opinion, yes, that's a female, and you're not trying to put hands on a female, but at the same time, you got to be like, yo, get out my face. Like, you in my space. You gotta let her know. I mean, because that's not cool at all. I don't care if you're drunk. I don't care what stadium you in. And somebody like that is going to continue that pattern of behavior because nobody haven't checked her yet. So I think he should be like, I think he should check her. Like, yo.
He said something to her at the end, but the video went off. But it's a lady. Like you finna argue with her? Like that's all they do anyway. That's what they want to do anyway.
But it was more than that, street. It was more than that. It was like almost a physical confrontation. Like she was like on him. Like that's just the clip you saw. That's the end of the game when he's trying to. I think he's stuck between just being calm and also watching the way they just lost. So he's trying to maybe not seem or look bitter or whatever. Because at that point she's just talking trash. But before that, it was like really rude,
Yes.
like get out of our stadium. It was, that those kind of coded words and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? At that point is when it probably would have escalated. It wouldn't have got to this. At this point, Street, she had done went back to her seat, grabbed her purse, and came down there to sit next to him just so she could continue doing that. And
Right.
every time they did something, she was just like throwing her hands up, like leaning on him. And it was just like, bro, like,
Actually touching the guy.
like that's what it looked like. I'm sure
Wow.
they chest bump, shoulder bump, or something. Like I'm almost sure of that.
Wow.
Now he had the opportunity. Like kudos to him. If that's the way he wanted to handle it. But
Right.
he had the opportunity to take it out on the husband because the husband was doing this not as much, not to her degree. Because I think if the husband would have did it to her degree, it would have been a fight. But it was the
Uh-huh.
same thing. He was sitting. I forgot exactly what the husband told him. I think the husband told him, "You better watch your mouth." It was something or whatever. But they were like right there where they could have gotten to a tussle. I'm sure I would have took that opportunity because you know, of course you're not gonna try to touch the lady, but it would have got it. So
Hmm.
or again, like I say, if you don't want to, you don't have to take it there. But somebody should have got security. Somebody should have called security and yeah, that shouldn't happen.
I
How
agree.
does it even get there? You got to be drunk, right? She has to be drunk, right?
Can't give them an excuse for
Yeah.
everything, bro. I don't know. I don't know, bro.
Like how could it?
We've
How could it?
seen.
How could it be that serious?
Because she did it
Think
before
about
and
it.
nobody
Think
did
about it,
anything.
street. But think about it. Think about these videos we've seen with these people, and they're not drunk, intoxicated, or anything. It's people out there just don't have common sense, common decency. Just they're entitled. They think they can talk to people or do what they want to do. It's just it ain't always about being drunk, man.
Hmm. I don't know, man. I don't think I ever walked past nobody. I don't think I ever walked past nobody like that. I ain't never had. I ain't never dealt with nobody like that.
Me neither. Me neither. But we see these videos all the time, bro.
Karens and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I be looking like, why don't nobody ever punch these people in their mouth?
I,
It's weird, bro.
I once heard a guy that I knew, someone I knew. He went to a Packers versus Vikings game, and this was like um the game. He wore a Brett Favre jersey when Brett Favre was now playing for the Vikings, but they were at Green Bay Stadium. And he said he was cheering for Brett Favre, and somebody poured a whole beer on his back. A Green Bay fan.
Whoa. Whoa. Wow.
Oh man.
I
76
don't know how you can be. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
786-459-9499. Y'all want to get down with IOD Squad. This was today's spy. This was Rico. Rico followed a lot of the plays in IOD Squad. I don't know how many contracts he brought on spy, but he started with 1,400 and he ended with 4,000, basically 3,900. In that spy play we had, he went up 163. I think I got out at 114%, and he went all the way up to 163%. Looked like, or maybe he got in a little lower when we first did the play. Uh, there's money to be made out there, people, in the stock market. It goes up and down. What I want to talk about is this. Lights out. Miami Central quarterback commits. And y'all didn't know who this is. This is Bobby and Robbie and their mom.
Hmm.
Lights out commits to FIU. If we were to go to Q1 Jenkins 247, he was committed to Auburn. When Auburn coach was fired, the running back Cadillac became the head coach. They wanted Bain, I think in Lamar. They wanted Bain. We know they wanted Bain. So Lights Out come up. They start saying they like Lights Out. They like Central quarterback. They interested in him. I think Crib went with him with somebody and recorded it. Them giving Lights Out an offer. Q1 Jenkins out of nowhere. Been a starting quarterback for 5 years. And at the last hour, Auburn gave him an offer. I wasn't asking around like, hey man, wait a minute, man. Like we finna sit here and watch this happen like this, you know what I'm saying? Now, what I was told was Auburn giving him an offer on video helps him out. It makes other colleges want to go look. That's fine. That's fine. It could have been from jump. He knew what was going down. It could have been. Auburn hires another coach. He's still committed to Auburn, but then he signs back with FIU where he decommitted from. I don't know the story. I could reach out to his dad, but these recruiting games that get played, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he got value out of it. I don't know what he got out of it. To be honest with you, but it looked fishy to me. It looked weird to me from jump. And you don't hear this often. You don't hear a kid decommitting and recommitting to another program.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear that often.
You spoke on it. You spoke on that when it first happened, Street.
I did. I brought it up,
Yeah.
right? It looked weird to me.
Yeah.
But when I sat down with AJ, this is what AJ said, the offensive coordinator for Central. He was like, Street, well, you really can't make a bad decision anymore because you can correct it the next year. And just go somewhere else. And I was like, you know what? I guess you're right, no? You just get in the portal, go somewhere else.
Did he have any other offers? I mean, I don't know how good FIU is as a team.
You don't know what you mean? You don't know how good they is as a team. What do you mean?
They don't seem like one of those smaller teams that's making a lot of buzz this past year. So I mean,
on 247, he's still committed to Auburn. No, it doesn't say he had any more offers. Morehouse College.
Well, staying home.
Mm-hmm.
Playing for the FIU Panthers.
Keywan Jenkins is another one of these quarterbacks that five all at State. But these colleges still look at him like,
yeah, you Street.
Come on,
Street,
Kyle, you gotta help me out with this, bro.
You break it up. We hear nothing you said.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Repeat what you said.
Keywan Jenkins is another one of these Central quarterbacks that broke all these records, right? Am I clear now?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think he broke a record at State. He started for 5 years on varsity. But colleges still look at him like, man, we don't know if he's college. We don't know if he can play on this level. What do you say to that, Kyle? Because he's a passer. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not out there running around. He can run, but he's a passer. What do you say to that, Kyle? What do you think?
Is he like really short or something?
He's 6 foot.
That's good enough.
He's not short.
It's gonna always be that. Okay, so the fact that he's 6 foot and not a runner is the funny part because that actually hurt him if he's not a runner because he's at 6 foot, right? Although we know, Drew Brees is 6 foot, but he don't have the protection of complexion. Like he's not gonna be given the benefit of the doubt. It's gonna always be like, well, I ain't gonna say always, but that's still what we're fighting against. It's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just that simple. Like the shorter he is, the more of an athlete he's gonna have to be. Even with Kyler Murray, if Kyler Murray was just a pocket passer, he wouldn't have got picked that high. Not in my opinion, anyway. So for him, until he's prototypical size, as just being a pocket guy, he still got to be prototypical size for him. It's just that's the way it works right now.
Are they wrong?
Yes, they are. I mean, they're wrong for not lending them the same type of what's the word I'm looking for? The same type of possibility that he may be good enough or be better or be elite. They're not gonna lend him that. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they're wrong.
No, I'm saying they're wrong for not giving out the opportunity
Talk to me, Rich.
because you would give it to somebody else. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I feel you. I say I don't know if they're wrong because when you just like I said about Tiger, right? You want to go to a program that's really, really going to develop you as a quarterback, and you got to be careful with that because it's a lot of places that you can go, but you have to question whether or not they're really, really going to put you in their best interest, and if they're not going to fold on you. Because there's only one football, and when you come into that program, you're gonna have maybe two or three guys that are also auditioning for the same spot, and you just don't. There's not a plethora of quarterback positions, so you really got to dial in with somebody who's gonna let you take the reins over for 2 seasons at least, and show the world what you can offer. So it's not about whether the school is a Power Five or whether the school has lunch at noon every day or whatever benefits you can get from the school. I think it's about what's the best fit for you. Just like we had the three tight ends, and the one tight end ends up going to South Carolina, but he was number three out of the three tight ends we had, and South Carolina just lost two big time tight ends. So it was a business decision, you know. It is
Wait,
what
so
it
are you
is.
saying that you're saying they're not wrong or the school is not wrong?
I'm saying I'm saying this. I'm saying who's ever in his camp, in lights out camp, they got to understand that it's about what's best for him.
Right, but no, but the question was, are the schools wrong?
Are they wrong for offering him?
Are they wrong for not offering him?
No, they're not wrong. Because you have a
Are
different.
they wrong for not offering him?
They're not wrong for not reoffering him because it's a new regime. It's a new coach coming in there.
No, period. I'm just talking about period.
Right.
Where you was at? Rich, you was on the island somewhere. Where you
Yeah,
was
no,
at
no,
when we
no,
was
no,
talking?
no, 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 no. Because I know why they offered him. I mean, the
I'm just talking
primary
about
reason
period.
why.
Our college coaches
He just
getting
means
it
in
wrong.
general.
In
Right.
general, are they getting it wrong not offering these quarterbacks? Right, 5 year starter, broken all these records, all these yards, playing against God and everybody. Are they getting it wrong?
No,
Okay.
I would say 70% of the time, no.
So you
Because
think
Not
it's
the
that's
a
something?
results, Rich. Not the results, Rich. Are they wrong for not giving the opportunity?
Right, right. Are they looking at
okay.
him saying, "Well, his mechanics isn't right. He didn't get sent to all these quarterback coaches." You know what I'm saying? Are they wrong for not giving them an opportunity?
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. Like, there's certain things you got to do in order to get a scholarship at a Power Five school. It's not about the height. It's about the type of work that you put in. Because we saw Caleb Williams just win the Heisman, and Caleb Williams is what 5'10". So, but when you hear what they did in order to get Caleb Williams there, you saw them. You saw what he talked about in terms of getting the footwork right, paying for certain types of for certain camps in order to make sure that you're understanding the footwork and so on and so forth. They mentioned that during the Heisman. So
Mhm.
you can put the numbers up, but when you get to each different level, the competition becomes different. And here's what I would hate, because we done all seen it. I would hate for a kid to go to Auburn, right? And as soon as they go to Auburn, the very next year they over recruit you, because you know that's what they're gonna do.
The very next year they over recruit you.
Yeah, they say yeah, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Um, Ultimately, we offered you because we wanted some of your teammates. So now your teammates come along with you. Now they at the school. You see your teammates shining, and then the very next year they're like, oh yeah, we got this 6'5" Cam Newton like quarterback who's right in our backyard. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and he coming in early, so and looks like he can make all the throws. We got Trevor Lawrence coming in because that's the type of school Auburn is. They're gonna get those type of guys.
This is
But
this
I
is kind
think
of what I'm
so.
saying.
I
This
think what,
Look at that. Look at that, Kyle. Look what Nonstop said. This kid should have offers from Buffalo, Akron. Right. Right.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. He should have offers from the Buffaloes, Akrons, Ball State. I agree with that. Central Michigan, yes. Marshall, I agree with that.
Check this out. So you can't miss because you can't miss on a big arm statue with a strong chin and blonde hair. you you miss on, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like that doesn't make sense, right? It's true.
right.
Arthur Siskowski. Like you still missing.
Yeah, you missing regardless. And I'm not saying that you take a kid who's big arms, stature, and all that with a strong chin and blonde hair over him. No, that's not what I'm saying.
But that's the
Because it's
question,
not about
really.
that.
But that's the question he's asking. So it's not specific to Auburn, not even specific to Lights Out. What he's
Right.
saying is, we have our kids, right? And they may be 6 foot, 6'1". They're breaking records. They can throw, and he's not a runner. Like he's gunning and all that stuff. He's saying, are these schools wrong for not giving them the opportunity? Not just Auburn or not Auburn, just
Right.
just in general. If you look at he committed to FIU. He's got an offer from Morehouse. But where are the offers from Central Michigan and all these other schools? That's what he's saying. Are they getting it wrong by
Are they
simply
getting it
overlooking
wrong?
him?
Right. Right. By simply saying, I watched Daniel Richardson from Carol City this year. At He was at the Chippewas, play
Yeah.
against Arizona or Arizona State one night, and light it up. In the right
Yeah.
offense, just throw the ball around, throw the ball around. I was told by a UAB scout, who's now Maryland's defensive coordinator, that listen, kid don't have to be tall anymore. All he needs is arm talent. That's it.
Um,
How does this man have no offers, dog?
I 100%
Right.
agree with you on that. I agree with that point, but it goes both ways, right? The the player should be looking for the system that's going to fit him the best, and the school should be looking for the players that's going to fit them the best. Prime example, Cedric Irvin's son, right? He plays running back.
Mm-hmm.
He was once
Right.
committed to Notre Dame, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What did Cedric Irvin say? He's now committed to Stanford. I don't know if he signed or not
Because
because I haven't looked.
because
But what did
it
Cedric
said
Irvin say?
it sound like white girls.
He said they're not.
He said, if
They're
you
not
lightweight,
going to be
if
able
you
to out
lightweight girls,
recruit.
you might as well go get him from Stanford. That's what he said.
Hey, yeah, well, trust fund daddies, absolutely. But you know what I'm saying? He said Stanford can't over recruit my son. Notre Dame could over recruit your
He
son.
did. He did say that. Yeah. No.
Right.
Break it down. He said Stanford. He said Notre Dame lost their running back coach or something, and then he said, if I send my son to Stanford, they run the ball majority of the time, and
Right.
my son, they probably can't out recruit my son. You're right. He did say that. Go ahead. Explain to people what that means. That, like, basically he's saying that they may not get a kid in here as good as my son that can qualify for Stanford.
Right.
That is correct.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna. Cedric Baxter is not gonna go to Stanford. Ain't doing it. Mark Fletcher ain't looking at Stanford. They're gonna go to Alabama. They're gonna go to Florida. They're gonna go to Texas. They're gonna go. There's too many schools, too many stops to make before you even think of Stanford if you're that good of a player. But here's what we do know. Max Duggan was at TCU. TCU, I would put him on the same level as a Baylor, right? But if you're lights out at TCU, if you're lights out at Kansas State, you could still go to be drafted to the NFL. So if you go to Akron and you put up 4,000 yards for 2 years straight, you're gonna get an invite to the combine. That's the point I'm
Right. But
making.
we know, but that wasn't like really the question about where he's choosing. It's like, why aren't these schools like Akron? Why aren't these schools like Akron throwing offers at guys like this? Whoever, Akron or USF, like, why are these guys? Why are people automatically deeming them? Why are these schools automatically deeming them not good enough to go to their schools? Forget Auburn, and like you said, Central Michigan, not Akron, but well, Akron too, but like a Central Michigan, maybe a Tulane, maybe a Toledo, like all those kind of
Right.
schools. Why doesn't he have offers? That's what
They
they're
missed.
saying.
They missed. All those
You said,
guys, the UCF, USF, Akron, they missed on him.
oh, we getting
That's-
there now. Now we arriving there, Rich. Oh, now we getting there now.
Here's the point I wanted to make though.
Uh-huh.
He committed to Auburn. Why? Why? All right, you got 1 year left. You got all these groups of people around you who understand who you are as a player and what you're gonna have to do at the next level. Why waste your time committing to Auburn? Go send out more film. Go knock on some more doors. We just remember a homeboy who said he called what was it? Called or DM
2000,
like
2000
2,000
coaches.
coaches or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how believable that is, but even if he did half of that, you get what I'm saying? He got responses back. So if I am everybody around lights out, I'm like,
Right.
yes, it's all good that you committed to Auburn, but know what the game is. They want Big Bang. That's what they want, and they'll do anything to get him, including give you an offer. So be
Mm-hmm.
real and go out there to Marshall, go out to Akron, go out to San Diego State. Give them your film. Don't assume that they just should know who you are.
I go back to when you were 17 years old
Mm-hmm.
and you're at Auburn, sitting in front of Cadillac, and they say we're gonna offer you. And you've been starting in big time football in Dade County for 5 years on varsity since you was an 8th grader.
I
If
would have
you ask
committed.
if you ask Keywan doesn't think whoever these 5-star quarterbacks better than him.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually played against some of them and beat them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So think back when you were 17 and Auburn is telling you in the nice office that we're gonna give you an offer. Rich, what you telling me you gonna say?
Oh, I would have
Y'all
committed.
bullshit.
I would have committed.
Nah,
I would have
y'all
committed.
bullshit.
I would have committed because you have a former player sitting there. It's kind of like having somebody you would look up to, and they selling you the dream. I would have committed right then as a 17-year-old. I would have been like, yeah, let's
Right.
do it. But you
Right.
got to have people around you who got your best interests at heart, who steer your career the right way.
But what if they feel the same? I give you an example. Like Street say, a lot of these kids, they played against these guys. They know these guys, and some of these guys, I'm not, they still ain't better than me, and they know that,
Yeah.
right? I give you a perfect
Right.
example.
Right.
Shoelace was 5'11", playing quarterback, dominating down here. I mean, it was a loaded class, but Shoelace was in the class by himself. It's just like the rest of them was, right?
Mm-hmm.
5'11". All these schools wanted him to come in and be an athlete, do this and do that. I remember talking to the dude. I said, "Well, what do you want to do? What you want to be?" "I want to be a quarterback." I said, "Who recruiting you at quarterback?" He said, "Man, just LSU." And I forgot who the other school was. I said, "Well,
Michigan,
go there."
obviously.
Well, I think this was before Michigan offered. Um, he's like LSU and maybe one more other school, right? Everybody else was recruiting him. You wouldn't want they wanted people wanted to come in, play receiver, play corner, whatever it was, right? And so that was all the school. That was, I said, "Well, what do you want to do, bro? What you want to do?" "I want to play quarterback." "All right, well, go where they're gonna let you play." You got a kid that's good and he believes in himself. You know what I'm saying? But somebody probably did come along and say, "Bro, you only 5'11". Why don't you go to such and such? Or if you're gonna play a quarterback, why don't you go down to such and such and such?" He's like, "No." And whenever the whole Michigan thing happened, obviously he ended up going to Michigan, and that was all she wrote. This boy's in the history books. So you got to
He
do
is.
like lights out. Who's six? He lights out. He's 6 feet tall. Can slang the ball.
Kentucky and run.
You know what I'm saying? Right. He knows he's being under recruited, and I got the chance to go to Auburn. It's the same thing we do to our kids, right? And I'm not saying you're wrong, Rich, at all, because I understand
I
100%
know.
what you're saying. People do have to. I think because like your perfect example is what they did with T.Y. Hilton. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
saying? They crafted that
Right.
perfectly. But if you look at the same thing we tell our kids, like, are you scared to compete? You scared of competition? And you got a kid that like out that's like, man, no, I can beat out all these kids. I just need somebody to give me a chance, an opportunity. And those are the story we love, right? When kids overcome like that, they go, nobody ain't want me to do this, do that. And I go and I prove myself because I know I'm good. My numbers back it up and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing we tell our kids. Oh, you scared to compete? Like when our kids are transferring, what we keep saying, you scared to
Scared to
compete? Y'all
compete.
scared of these freshmen coming in and boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it goes both sides. You know what I'm saying? And only time will tell sometimes. But both of y'all are right. You sitting there, Auburn saying that we want you, even though I know they playing the game with me. But if they gonna give me the opportunity to actually come in and play quarterback, I'm probably gonna take that. You know what I'm saying? So on their side, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer. I don't think I would have let them play with my son like that.
Right.
But I
Right.
Right.
do understand the business part, like they trying to say, like, well, maybe it helps lights out too. If school, because there are some coaches out there that recruit like that. Who's recruiting him? Auburn. Okay, let's go
It's
look into. There's
a
dumb
lot of
coaches
them,
that do
Cal.
that, man.
A lot of
Right.
them recruit like that.
So
Well,
I understand that business part of it. So go ahead.
I agree with you. I remember Shoelace. We all do. I mean, Shoelace was a bit of a different athlete. He was even in, Dade County, Broward County history. He goes down as one of the best athletes to ever come out of here, to be honest. Um, not even with what he did as a throwing the ball. If you just look what he did as a runner, I would have put him at quarterback just to see what he could do as a runner. That's how good he was. That's like he's like a step below what Lamar Jackson did. So
Hmm.
when lights out does not run like that, but Lights Out is a darn good passer. He's a really good passer. So you got to look at a program that can pass the ball, who's going to let you throw the ball 40 times. And when you look at Auburn, you couldn't even tell what they did on offense. You didn't know if they was going to run it, if they was going to pass it. You just didn't know. They was in shambles. So even from that perspective, I'm kind of like, well, I'm glad you offered. I'm gonna say I'm gonna commit, but I'm gonna go look elsewhere because um I'm a passer. Like I want to pass the ball 40 times. That's my game. Like Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater wasn't a runner. So you got to be practical about it like that. Um yes, I do know and and I agree with you guys when you should have, especially a guy who started since his freshman year, you should have a lot of schools like a Marshall, like a University of Houston, who took a look at him. But here's the crazy part. Some of those schools that we talk about, like Marshall, Akron, Central Michigan, did they even offer Tiger?
Mm.
Because if they ain't offer Tiger, I
He
mean,
falls under it too. He falls. Well, Tiger may have a couple more offers, but they all kind of fall under the same thing.
right. Because I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I guarantee you, if Tiger goes somewhere and starts for 2 years, this man is going to throw over 3,000 yards. There's no there's no doubt in my mind.
3,000.
No doubt. But, you know, I, I have to say once again, it's the circle. It's if they're not reaching out to you by your sophomore year, you already don't won a state championship as a freshman. Somebody in your circle has got to start pounding the pavement for you. Has got to start knocking on doors for you. Or your talent is going to go to waste.
This is one of the last guys who did it. Richardson. He threw for 1,900 yards this year and 15 touchdowns. With Central Michigan.
Gets his hands on Richardson to throw, and Richardson down the seam finds the tight end. Joel Wilson, touchdown. Richardson second down, got a completion.
That's Oklahoma State right there.
Yeah.
I watched him toss the ball around against Oklahoma State in a crazy game. Look, they down 7. They was down 37-7. And they just kept scoring touchdowns.
Right.
And he was the same height, same thing. He found an offense where they could throw the ball around.
Right.
I'm just saying, like kids that are proven like that, you can miss on a 6'3" kid. There's a lot of them in the transfer portal, just like the guy said. That's all I'm saying. But these kids are proven playing against top talent, putting up these numbers. I was going to talk about that, Coach Hayes, Quentin Winky Flowers.
Yeah.
He was just a stud. He was just, yeah. I think he was the spark plug to get Willie Taggart's career going.
Absolutely. But if Quentin Flowers would have went to Alabama, does he ever play quarterback for Alabama?
Alabama quarterbacks running.
You might play one season, but you know what Alabama gonna do? They're gonna over recruit you. They're gonna be like, yeah, man, we got you. You the future. And then next thing you know, you're gonna see some 6'6" kid who's the number one quarterback in the country come in.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna do.
Quentin was a mofo, dog. Quentin was Quentin was good, dog. Like I see what you're saying. Alabama can recruit a kid that's 6'3" and do what Quentin do.
Right.
Right. That's how colleges kind of look at it. But Quentin was a leader. When I was at FIU, they said that he was too small, so we ended up being 3-11. Quentin Flowers, yeah, they didn't even. Yeah, I remember Hayes telling me that story. I remember
Yeah,
that.
and the FIU should not miss on kids like that.
Quentin Flowers was too small.
Right.
He ain't good enough to come here, is what they told him.
Especially if a kid like that is in your backyard, there's no way you should miss on something like that.
Quentin Flowers is too small. But yeah, man, that's what I was just trying to ask. I mean, not necessarily what he should be doing, but are they getting it wrong, dog? Like, are they getting it wrong? Like, some situations I don't understand. How could Quentin Flowers not be good enough for FIU? How could you not put on the tape? Put on the tape. You FIU, you put on the tape, and you say, oh no, this kid could play.
Right. I agree with you. It's 120 something teams out there. Only 30 or 40 of them are like top tier teams. So the other 80 have no excuse.
Right. Right. So listen, man, tonight 7:30. We got the space tonight. X gonna wrap up. X and I and a couple people will wrap up. We'll wrap up recruiting today. We're hearing Cormani McClain is being grabbed at by Bama and Deion. Say Deion reached out to him. So we're gonna hold our horses on that. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. His mom is big on trust. She's big on trust. She's big on relationships. She had to actually develop that relationship with Mario and DVD, and she's big on loyalty. And it's going to be hard. I believe it'll be hard for somebody to swoop in at the end. After watching the process of how Cormani McClain was recruited and how she dealt with the recruitment. But like I said, I just know she has a lot of leverage. They have a lot of leverage right now. And it's almost like once you sign, it's gone. You better so you got to be sure and you got to be exact in what you're doing. When it comes to a situation like this, especially when you're that high.
The starting lineup for your world champion Chicago Bulls. And forward from Central Arkansas, 6'7", Scotty Pippen. A 6'5" Forward from Southeast. Oklahoma State. It is Rodman. The man in the middle from New Mexico. 7'2". Longley. A 6'6" guard from Miami, Ohio. Ron Harper. From North Carolina, and guard 6'6", Michael Jordan.
Man, this dude here, man. What's up with you, baby?
What's going on, man? You on mute, Street?
You should see him smiling when that intro come on. You should see him smiling when that intro come on. He be better like, you Street be tripping, man.
No, that's not hilarious. What's up with you, man?
I'm chilling, dog. Are they getting it wrong, coach? Are these colleges getting it wrong?
No, man. You know, to Richard's point, I've been riding on the road. You know, I'm in Georgia now. And to Richard's point, I mean, I think you make a very valid point where they'll take a chance on a guy like that, but I don't think they're looking at him towards the future, right? And they're, like you say, they're over recruiting. And like you said, to Irvin's point, to Cedric Irvin, that's being smart and being strategic in the recruiting world to say, you might be able to recruit somebody equal to my son, but I don't know if you can get anybody over my son. If you do, that pool is very small. So that does make sense. And for Winky, I think he did a great job because he wanted to be a quarterback. And because he wanted to play quarterback. And because he wanted to play quarterback, he found a school that was going to let him play quarterback. And you can't get caught up with the logo and fanfare more than what can be done for both parties, right? Can I make this school better as a quarterback, and will this school allow me to play quarterback? And you know, Willie Taggart, I tell people all the time, Willie Taggart, that man some money, boy. He owe Winky some money. Because I'm telling you, he was on the hot seat. And when he finally made that choice, you know, like if Winky, I don't know their relationship, but if Wink ever called him, he better pick up the phone by the second ring, boy. I'm just being real. He got that man a $2 million, $3 million job at Oregon.
Yeah.
It's happened numerous times. Teddy Bridgewater, Charlie Strong. Sent Charlie Strong right to Texas.
Yeah.
It's true.
Cash. It's happened too many times. I remember being
Deshaun
on the
Watson.
sideline with I think it was Ole Miss, and Winky was playing in high school, and I asked him were they recruiting him as a quarterback, and he looked at me and he said, "Hell yeah, we trying to win." But I don't think he ended up at South Florida. I don't know if that was by design or. I just think, like, what's the difference between a Chris Leak and a Keon Jenkins?
Where you from? Also, is the coaches who've been coaching you. People still think that Dade counties can't coach. People still think like we still have that stigma that we can't coach. We just have athletes. You know, and that's still a big stigma when it comes to high school coaches in this area. Bro, I used to go to camps all the time, and you hear these guys talking. You know, they don't know I'm from Miami or whatever. You just hear, man, Miami guys can't coach. They just got good athletes. You know, you hear the other high school coaches talking. I used to go to the AFCA conference in January. You know, a drunken mind speak a sober tongue, bro. And them coaches start getting drunk, and they start talking, and you know what I mean? Or you'll see, like, you know, Central come through or this come through, and man, they don't know how to coach no football, man, blah, blah, blah. Matter of fact, I remember being in Orlando when we was up there, Luke was up there. And of course, everybody knows Luke as Luke Skywalker, right? Not Coach Campbell, Coach Luke. Man, he don't know nothing about no football, man. He just me so horny, pop that, that's all he is.
Right.
But and I had to be very honest. Until I had a chance to be around Luke, I thought the same thing. Like, I have to be honest. That because you see guys that like to get into coaching, but how much do they really know? Like, because my mind was, how can this man be serious about coaching and be doing concerts at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Like,
just an extraordinary person, though.
Exactly. And I take my hat off to Luke all the time. I mean, I listen to him talk. I've listened to him talk football. I listen to him talk about recruiting. Talk like he gets it. He understands it. And and I'm talking about X's and O's as well, not just players. So that's another thing about a Chris Leak. If Chris Leak was playing in Dade County, probably would have never went to Florida.
Now, Chris, you're right, because Chris Leak put up the same type of numbers that Tiger put up, and ended up going to Florida. And even at Florida, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was well over a 3,000-yard passer.
Yes, he won the national championship. Tim Tebow just erased him out of history.
Pretty much.
No, they did the same thing. Hey, same thing happened at Tennessee with Peyton Manning and T. Martin, right? But here's another thing that happens to quarterback. Oh, they can't throw. They got great receivers. So you'll look around and say, okay, well, your boy lights out. He got this receiver, that receiver, this receiver. And they'll just say, oh, he threw for this many yards because he only throwing 5-yard passes and they taking him 60. They always try to find a negative when it comes to that. And again, South Florida is not known for quarterbacks. I think Teddy Bridgewater, even Shoelace had a stigma about he's just an athlete. Teddy Bridgewater kind of gave us some limelight when it came to quarterback play. I'm trying to think who else prior to that.
Corey.
Ja'Cory Harris.
Gino.
Yep.
But all that's in the same era. All that's in the same. It hasn't been a continuous over the past 20, 30 years of just producing. Like, when you think quarterbacks, you think California.
Right.
You think South Florida, you think athletes. You think O-linemen, you think Midwest. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Chris Leak played for Charlotte Independence. I remember at one point they were 70-0. They were 70-0. They hadn't lost a game in 70 games. I saw him play. I just drove to Raleigh one day when I was living in North Carolina and said, I'm going to go see State. Laney High School, Michael Jordan High School was playing against Charlotte Independence. And when I got to the stadium at Chapel Hill, Chris Leak team was down 28-0. They were a heavy favorite. And Laney had like two guys. Laney was up 28-0 when I got in the parking lot. When I got in the stadium at my seat, Charlotte Independence was winning 35-28, beat them like 56-28, bro. Chris Leak was throwing long distance handoffs, Hayes. I hadn't seen a guy throw a prettier ball on the run. He was square shoulders. And I can't say he looked like, he reminded me of Daniel Richardson, right? When Daniel Richardson was in high school.
I agree. I agree with that.
You could tell he had the mechanics. You know what I'm saying? You could tell everything he did was exact. Like, you could tell he wasn't guessing. He knew what dudes were supposed to be. He knew what the defense was, and he knew what he was doing. He's one of the best high school quarterbacks I ever saw play, dog.
Ever.
Y'all know who was the guy ranked one spot ahead of him, right?
Who?
Kyle Wright.
Holy shit.
They was either 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. Yeah, they was either 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
Oh,
but
that just brought it full circle.
Right, but of course, Kyle Wright, big. What they just said, big, 6'5", strong chin, strong jawline, blonde hair.
Just normal. But you know what else too, man? You look at that stuff like Charlotte Independence. I take it that's a private school. He probably has some
in North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably has some private coaching. They could afford to pay for that. I don't know what lights out, background is. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that goes into play, but just to quickly tell you, like you were talking about that story with Wink, I remember being at FIU and I'm telling Ron Turner, I'm like, Coach, this dude right here, we going off. He like, Coach, but he only 6 feet tall. I'm like, yeah, Coach, but he could play. Like, yeah, Coach, he's 6. I say, Coach, this FIU, this ain't FSU, right? Like, I was being honest. And I was telling him, and my whole philosophy was, I was telling them, like, Coach, we got to remember, we are getting first tier looking guys with second tier talent. I've said this story before. We need to start getting second tier looking guys, because that's where we are, but that has first tier talent, like a T.Y. Hilton. You know what I mean? Like those guys that, yeah, they may not meet all the measurables. They don't check those boxes, but they some playmakers. Now, can you get off the bus with everybody 5'9", 5'10"? No. But Wink was a solid 206 foot at quarterback. And he can throw the football. That was the biggest thing. He could throw the ball. But coaches get caught up when you think about coaches, where they come from. Ron Turner, NFL dude, coming from the Tampa Bay Bucks. He ain't never seen a quarterback probably under 6'3" in his life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So in his mind, it doesn't even register. That's why I tell these coaches who don't coach high school ball that if you come up as a 22-year-old GA and that's all you know, when you get your first room, you get your first, wide receiver room or D-line room, you only know 6'5" because you haven't seen talent. You're not accustomed to being around anything less than. And here's another quick story. You know this guy extremely well. Sheffield, Jamal Sheffield, a coach over there at Central, right? You know what I'm talking about, Street?
Yeah.
Okay. Sheffield was one of the most dog players I ever seen play at Miami Central. I'm coaching him in an all-star game. And I'm like, bro, this dude got it. Like, he got it. And I remember talking to, but remember Chef, he ain't that big a dude, right? He might be a 6-foot cat. And I remember talking to Don Ely. He was the head coach at Morgan State at HBCU. And I know Don well. He's at Hampton and everything. I say, Coach, see that cat right there? That's when Chef had dreads and everything. I say, y'all need to get him right now. He looked at him. He said, Coach, he too small, Coach. I'm looking for bears. We the Morgan State Bears. I need bears. I said, Coach, he a bell cub right now. Listen, he passed up on him. He ends up going to Central Michigan and balling out. But those are the kind of things where these guys get so caught up in measurables. And Don Ely was the head coach. He wasn't no assistant coach. He didn't have to take that up the ladder. But they get so caught up in these measurables and checking the boxes that they miss out on so many good opportunities, man. That
Right.
Yeah.
That's the answer to our question. But coach, you bring up a lot of good points. Like we do get people do look at where certain guys come from and they go ahead and measure them and label them by that. Because like you look at, like you were saying, that era where Geno came out and then it was, Brent Schaefer a little bit before that. We had quarterbacks before that, but they weren't going to never get the opportunity. You had Derek Crudup, no opportunity. Pat Bonner, no real opportunity. He had to go to FAMU, still ended up going to the NFL, even though he didn't stay. So much Azante was a damn good quarterback. Moved him to safety. There's somebody else I'm forget. I think like Rohan is probably like the only guy who probably got a good opportunity. We had guys, but they come down here and they look at our guys and, oh no, you Florida quarterback, you only 6'1", 6 and that's what they do to you. So some of these schools that you do go to, you'll probably just be the backup. I don't know how many you're not going to get the proper opportunity.
And Kyle, you got to remember this too. We didn't have smaller time football back then either. We didn't have UCF wasn't like that. South Florida, we didn't have smaller schools. It was only the big three.
Right.
You didn't have all of these smaller programs. It was the big three and then FAMU and Bethune.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now you got West Florida, you got UCF, USF, you know, all these
FAU.
other FAU, right? FAU, FIU. All these programs are now coming around. So, you know, now you're 100% right.
No, man, I just wanted to, I just wanted to talk about that for a second, bro. Because I've seen Tiger, I've seen too many of them, and it's like, man, wait a minute, man. I also saw Arthur Piskowski, and everybody was salivating over this guy,
Yep.
and I had never seen him do anything in the game, but at Nike camp in shirts and shorts, he would win awards. He looked like the man, and colleges wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
Luke called it shirts and panties.
Shirts and
Yeah.
panties.
Yeah. And these kids got offers. We got a local kid, man. Big kid. Offers. Never seen him do anything in the game.
And that's the wild thing, bro. Like these kids getting these quote unquote offers off of shirts and panties. But when you put that 13 pounds of pressure on, they can't get no work.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
tell me
crazy.
though, man. Like what does the size have to do with it? Like you want your team to look big when they walk in the like it confuses me, bro.
Well, I get it, right? Like it does matter in a sense. But again, the school has to be realistic the same way kids got to be realistic. Like I told coach, this ain't FSU, this FIU, bro. You got to be able to find that dog. You can go and get one or two of them guys, but you can't, if you're a Power 5 program, you can't walk off the bus with all of those kids because the opponent is going to have the same exact thing that kid has, but he's 5 inches taller, 80 pounds heavier, you know? It is what it is, right? It's almost looking at Bruce Lee being Bruce Lee, but then you go find a Bruce Lee that's 80 pounds bigger, the same exact skill set. Who would you put your money on? Same Bruce Lee's now. Both of them Bruce Lee, the same exact skills, everything, but one is 80 pounds heavier. What do you think happens over time when they fighting each other? The bigger dude probably wins, right?
Right.
That's how they look at it.
And that
You're
might be
right.
true in the trenches. That's going to be true in the trenches 8 times out of 10. But for some of those skill positions, you got to look at how dynamic the player is first. Like TY was dynamic, and I don't care if it was 150 pounds. Tutu was dynamic. And sometimes those lower tier schools they miss because they want to come off the bus with everybody over 6 feet tall, just like Alabama. And you ain't Alabama. It's really
Right.
that simple.
And the recruiting process, right? It's all about who you bring in. If I'm a coach, Rich, you my boss, you the head coach. Everybody fills out a prototypical sheet. Excuse me. Everybody fills out a prototypical sheet. If I'm a wide receiver coach, I want my Z receiver to be 6'3" or higher, around 210 or plus. I want my X to look like this, the Z to look like that, the Y to look like this, whatever. If I come back to you, because remember, there's a lot of ego in this game. If I come to you as the head coach and I stand on the table for T.Y. Hilton and he don't pan out, see, that's the problem.
You.
See, we're talking about a lot of kids who've panned out, but imagine the amount of kids that's his same size but didn't pan out. See, we don't know those names. Those guys never became T.Y. Hiltons. You see what I'm saying?
We don't know
But
those coaches' names either.
no, that's right. But the difference is, at least I followed the blueprint of what you wanted. You asked for this. You want them 6'3"? No problem, coach. I bring them to you 6'3".
Gotcha.
But if I stand on the table for something you didn't really ask for, and I'm putting my neck out and it don't work out, I ain't gonna last long in the coaching profession. So sometimes they can see a guy and believe in it, but they're not willing to risk their livelihood on it. And that's the part of coaching that
I get
that
it.
people
No,
don't think about.
I get it. No, I definitely get it. It's so many different dynamics and moving parts to it. When I started realizing that about recruiting, it kind of like, I was like, man, I thought it was an exact, oh, can this kid play? It's what your coach is asking you to go get. It's what you need. It's what's going to help you in the future. You know what I'm saying? What's going to help your career go forward? And then I was like, damn, that's complicated. It's not exactly what I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Miami, right, Street? When we got Chris Johnson, when we got Chris Johnson, what's the first thing people say? Man, we need to get a big back. All right, so now go get Mark Fletcher. Go get Thad Franklin, right? Like you need a big back, a small back, a guy that can catch out the backfield, a guy that can do this. Like in football changes, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. There's no exact formula to it. You know what I mean? It's all subjective.
Right. But how do you so if you was lights out's coach Hayes, and you saw in lights out came to you and said, yeah, man, I went up there to Auburn with my boys with Bain, and they offered all of us, so I went ahead and committed. What would you say to him?
I mean, first of all, I always had a rule. None of my kids could commit unless their parents were there. Just for that particular reason, because of emotion. So if a kid went on a visit, and I let the school know that, no kid could commit by himself. He ain't old enough to commit by himself. He's too emotional, right? Like when you were talking earlier, if I was 17 and I was over, yeah, coach, let's do it. Because you're emotional. You're 16, 17. So I'm saying as this coach, I say, hey, listen, I will always lay out all options like a lawyer. Look, bro, you can go there, like you just mentioned. They may over-recruit you. You can go to this school, talk to the coach, find out what the plans are. And sometimes it's good being a big fish in a small pond. I personally don't like the fact that those coaches even allowed them to commit at Auburn. I just think that's bad.
Right.
That's bad business, man, because you're dealing with emotions of these young men, and you selling them a dream because they always want to be a power football player.
Right.
Take it. Probably Auburn, like you said, in the committal ball. I know there was like, damn. I didn't think he was gonna commit right now. I lose all of that streak gone.
Huh? I don't know.
You're in the portal a little bit.
I don't
Hello?
know. Yeah, we can hear you. You can hear us?
Rich.
Yeah. I can hear you.
We can hear you. I think you're in the portal. You can hear us? No. Look at it. Look like confused red dude. Looking like old confused St. Bernard right now. Look at him. Somewhere in Stewart, Florida. He out of there. But I forgot what I was going to say, man. We're going to get ready to get up out of here, man, because we got stuff to do tonight, man. Go check out what's going on. Did Hakeem Williams commit to Florida State?
Earlier, I heard I saw some people say that he did send his paperwork in.
His LOIN?
Mm-hmm.
I think did the football villains just get a message?
In the group me?
No, in the member section on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, I put it up. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's in there. Were you in the bad area?
Backwoods, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey. But yeah, I don't know the last thing y'all heard, but yeah. That's it, man. I feel bad for these kids, bro. Like this transfer portal.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Because it's more ways to over recruit you. And So when you see that in that player's in your camp, and he got offers from Auburn and he got an offer from FIU, I would say, would is there a way to really assess his value on the market? Like to really be like, okay, let's really hit the ground running. Send your tape out to everybody. Everybody. Tell them that you're looking for the right fit. Show them your numbers. Show them you're a gunslinger. You could throw the ball. You're not a runner. You're more of a passer. Now, after you do that, and then you see where the chips fall, then you go back to the table and be like, all right, we got these offers from 20 different schools. Let's narrow it down to what we think will be the best opportunity for you. Because at quarterback is so important to get, especially when you're a quarterback that some would consider undersized or under whatever, to really get the school of your choice right, to really get it right. Because if you don't, you might spend a lot of time in a transfer portal as opposed to spending time at a school. You feel me?
No, like I said, I agree. I think you have to, as a kid and as your whoever in that kid's camp, you have to ask these coaches the hard question, bro. I would ask them straight up, "Hey, coach, I appreciate the offer. Are you offering me because you think I'm a package deal with Bain?" I mean, I think it's a fair question, bro. You know.
Right.
Now, even they gonna lie to me, but at least I got their foot to the fire. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Ask them those questions. Well, what's your bro? They human beings, just like you human being, dog. But their future can always change. They can go to any other school they want. I mean, now you can too with this portal, but this is your decision. I just always feel like when you're dealing with smaller quarterbacks and you're dealing with, especially like the way the quarterbacks are, and it's only one. It's not like a rotation at receiver, DB,
Right.
um, wide receiver, whatever. There's only one quarterback, dog.
Yep.
So when you're playing one quarterback, you thought Matoka thought he was going to be a lifer back there on the bench?
Nah.
A what?
See, Matoka. I'm just saying, Peyton Matoka, yeah, St. Thomas. He was at St. Thomas, right? The quarterback?
Nah, he was at some school. He went to some
Yeah.
school in Texas.
No, he's at
No,
St.
I know.
Thomas,
I don't
right?
know where Matoka from.
I think he was at St. Thomas, right?
Nah, I think he's from Texas.
Matoka?
Yeah. He went to the same school De'Aaron King went to.
I don't know. Somebody pull that up and see. I'm not sure. But anyway, when he got to Miami, you thought he was going to be a lifer? A bench lifer? No. People don't even bring his name up when it comes to quarterback play at Miami.
Right.
When he
You
could have
thinking
went
of
to Houston and probably been a ball player, dog. Who
exactly.
knows? You know, um, I thought Matoka was from down that way.
He says St.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Thomas, not STA.
Huh?
They say he went to St. Thomas, not STA.
Oh, so the school was named St. Thomas.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Texas.
Okay. But anyhow, like I said, those are the things you look at. And, now that kid, that he's finna go get a job when his day's over with. He's not going no league, no combine. Done.
He's a 3-star, 6'4", 200-pound quarterback.
So now I'm a 6'4", I'm a 3-star quarterback coming in Miami. I don't know. It's all about if I want to play, I'm not coming to Miami. I have to be honest. If I'm a quarterback knowing there's only one position, I'm not coming to Miami.
Mm-mm.
Not.
Nope. I'm staying in Texas. I'm going to Houston. I'm doing something
I'm
different.
gonna
I'm
go
not
to
coming to
Houston.
Miami.
I'm going to Rice. I'm going to somewhere. I'm going to somewhere where I can play.
And that's a good point too,
But
because
again,
uh,
Rich, he may not want to play. You want to know why? Because he ain't even hit the transfer portal early. He could have been hit it.
exactly.
He cool with. Some kids just burn out, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna get this degree from Miami. Go be whatever I'm gonna be in life, whatever you choose to do for a living. You call it a day, bro.
That's it.
And he may not need this. He may not need football, as they say, to get out. It's just something he does. He may not need this. He may want it, but he don't need it.
Right.
Yeah. A- And that's the other thing too. Like Lights Out may need it. You feel me? He may need to get those 1 or 2 checks from the league. He may need to get some NIL money. So you got to go somewhere where you could be the star.
How tall is Lights Out? How tall is he? Legit.
6 foot. 6 foot.
Yeah, dog. Like I said, a kid like him, he could go anywhere. He could go, as long as they fit his skill set. That's what he has to look at, a place where he can play and a place that fits what he wants to do. Now,
And you
will he
don't
get a
want to go
chance in
to
the league?
Mhm.
I don't know. Depends on what he does, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to go to a program that's in shambles. You don't want to go to anybody that's rebuilding or restarting or anything like that. You don't want to go to that program. You need to go to something that's consistent, where you know what you're going to get on offense, you know what they do on defense. Even if they're 7-5 every year, at least they're consistent. You know what they're going to bring to the table.
True story.
Yeah. So listen, man, 786-405-9499. Hayes, how much time you got left on your drive, dog?
Oh, I'm already here, man. I went out there this morning.
What part of Georgia?
I'm in Dawson, Georgia, man. I'm actually headed back out there now. I gotta go sight some stuff in, man. I can't go out there and miss. Cause you know, baby, when I
What
close one eye, they close two. Those don't play around.
you hunt? You hunting up there?
Yeah.
School out?
Yeah, what you mean? We
You
out,
know what
boy.
school? Yeah. The kids getting smarter, man.
Nope.
Listen, man, 786-405-9499, man. If you're trying to get your credit fixed, just text that number right there. They'll hit you back. Let's get ready to get out of here, man. Got some stuff to do, and then we got the space tonight at 7:30. We'll wrap everything up. It looks like everybody in except who? Frankie and Cormani.
So what's the hold up with him? I heard his hold up was different time zone because he was out. I guess it was his
Francis.
original. Yeah, Francis
Yeah.
Maui go hold up because he was his original. What was he back in California or something?
I think he was in Hawaii right now.
It's funny when fans say stuff like this. Cormani is holding us hostage. Either sign or go elsewhere. The drama ain't necessary for the 5-win team. Hey, listen, GB, he got a right to hold us hostage in this recruitment. He can hold us hostage for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? He can say right there, say, Mario, sit your fucking ass down before I make change.
But we can't hold. But we can't hold a university for holding us hostage for 20 years.
He got it right, GB. He can hold him and Keisha can sit right there. She can file her nails and Cormani can play his game and hold us hostage for a few days.
JTT did it. Bro, JTT did it. The D lineman that's at Ohio State. That boy didn't sign till June.
Yeah. What do you think happened in that moment? You think the recruiting picks up for them? You think the phone calls come more, the bags get bigger?
Maybe. If Cormani is smart, he's had 5 schools sign the financial aid paperwork, that means they are tied to him now. And now he gets to pick the school. If he's smart, he has Miami and whoever else that he may be thinking, Alabama, Florida, whatever. They sign over the financial paperwork. So now they are now tied to Cormani. He's not, so meaning he drops whichever ones he doesn't want. So that means his spot is solidified at any one of those schools.
Right.
If he did it that way. I don't know how he did it, but.
Right.
But again, that's being in your camp. People know what they're doing, you know.
Right. I'm having fun with GB. GB said, I'm not worried. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. I'm not worried. He can leave, but the drama is unnecessary. It's only drama in your life, GB. Right. This man he can really be sitting there with his family trying to make the right decision. It's only drama because he's not doing what people want him to do right now.
Because you keep getting on the thing looking. Did he sign? Did he sign? Did he sign? Did he sign?
But I go back to James Williams. I want everybody to remember this moment when we thought Cormani McClain was not coming, right? Or maybe wavering, right? And then remember it when he get bombed for the first time. Or he get ran over for the second time. I just want y'all to remember the energy. The same support you have when you want them to come sign and do what you want them to do, support them throughout their journey, dog. Because you know what I was afraid of? I was afraid that the mom pulling saying, hey, we ain't going to commit today, and the Kane fans starting to go get stupid again.
Yep. That man might be working on some details. Hey, we ain't say that when the coaches be taking their time signing.
Rich.
Yeah.
How long it take to negotiate a big time deal in big time business?
I'm working on one right now. That's a pretty sizable deal. And it just got to the lawyers, and it's been a year and a half.
Oh. Oh. So when you're negotiating, right, it's a lot of stops get pulled out, right? A lot of bullshit go on, a lot of jockeying for position, right?
Right. And off bat, the lawyers started to argue about if anything goes wrong, where are we going to sue you at?
But y'all want Cormani McClain just to walk in the room and pull up his skirt and just bend over.
Hey, for a year and a half, Rich, it sounds like you need some Mario loafers. You need to close that.
Shoot, I need to get me some lemon pepper steppers.
Our people are the only people not allowed to negotiate, not allowed to play the game, not allowed to get what they worth. Whatever's going on. It could be something simple as he put on the wrong two shoes. He got dressed in the dark and he had the wrong shoes on. Who knows what the problem is? You know what I'm saying? We're hearing that Deion jumped in, but anytime you see a problem, they blame it on Deion. And I know Alabama is coming really, really hard. And Florida is losing their mind and probably willing to put his name on the stadium at this point.
They're gonna whip out another birthday cake.
They just name it the McLean Stadium at this point. So let's get out of here, man. Go handle some business, bro. I appreciate y'all, man.
Good stuff, bro. Y'all go check out the interviews too, man. Let them know about the interview. I say, tell them to go check out them interviews for me, man.
You did something on the Colorado commit today, right?
Yeah, Colorado and the kid from Clemson too, man. Hey, I tried to get some Miami guys. They wouldn't respond. I hollered at Malik. He ain't respond. I hollered at all of them. Nobody responds. So don't be like, hey, coach, you don't like Miami players. Nope. I got hollered at who responded. Tell them to stop with it.
Colorado video might do some numbers.
Say again?
The Colorado video might do some numbers, though.
Yeah, it's up to like 1,500, I think, right now.
Yeah, it might do something. The power of Deion them. All right, man. Y'all holler at me.
Peace.
Yo. All right, man. 786-405-9499. Y'all want to get down with IOD Squad. If you're just getting in here, wait for Damari at 3:15. Damari finna commit. Rich, come back. They said Damari finna commit. I didn't even realize we stayed on here that long. Let's see where he committing at. Let's see where he committing at.
4/7 or ESPN or something.
Where he at? He ain't on his own. Let's see if he on his own thing. Let's see. I didn't realize we sat in here that long.
Me neither.
Commit today. They better commit today at 2 p.m. Let's see. We ain't got no Coach Dennis cryptic tweets.
Mm-mm.
His brother live on IG. Let's run it. Let's see. Okay. So Damari Brown brother committed what, a day ago, 2 days ago?
Like 2 days ago.
Let's see. Like 2 days ago he committed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody live. Brandon Ennis live. That live isn't doing anything. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, Brandon Ennis is live with Damari Brown. Look at
Really?
that. Yeah,
Better
Brandon
not be
Ennis
going
is
to Ohio
live.
State.
G-Mark West.
Brandon got 400 watching.
You go see, it's between Miami, Bama, and FSU.
Let's see if we can get his brother. His brothers is not coming up though. Know what that's about. Okay, let's see what Malachi sitting at. Malachi sitting next to Brandon Ennis, and he got bad video. Frankie Tinnerly. See if Malachi got his stuff together yet.
Nope.
No, Malachi sucking with the video camera.
It's going to be on ESPN.
Is it?
Yeah, on ESPN too.
What time is it supposed to start?
It's supposed to start now.
Cal, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. Chilling. I'm at work.
What are they doing? They just talking to this man ear.
ESPN Live.
G Mario, what it
You
is?
put ESPN in here. ESPN gonna shut the whole stream down.
Yeah, talk loud so we can hear.
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be at 3:15 though.
It was.
This nigga.
ESPN gonna shut the whole stream down.
The price raised $200K. He going to Bama.
He said 200K. He going to Bama.
Mhm.
Oh, they say the Wi-Fi ass. Damn. We in a school. I can't help. Oh, though, why is it taking so long? I turn the comments off. Coach Mike, my guy.
So I guess whatever surprise it was supposed to be, we not getting, right?
If you go to Kane Insight, I think you can see it pretty good on Kane Insight on Instagram.
I also want to thank the coaches, among tools that have recruited me over the last 2 to 3 years. With that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be taking my academic and athletic talents to the University of Miami.
I can't jump off
Got
the team
him.
at work.
So you can't jump up, dog?
No, I can't. I can't jump up and scream at work. So y'all just pretend I'm doing it.
So now it's on Cormani, huh?
Yeah, domino.
Bro, Street,
What?
you see it. Dang.
Josh D, 850. Shout out to Josh D. That's a new one in the thing. 850,
Yeah,
$100.
it's a new one.
850. That's who that? That's Tallahassee.
850 is Tallahassee. Yeah, shout out to Josh D with $100,
Yeah.
man. Totally appreciate you, dog. Cause we was just
Uh-oh.
about to get off here. Somebody held us up. Somebody was like, hey, that boy about to commit.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever that was got you paid, Street. Who that? CJ. CJ, you might have to get a free membership.
CJ Dudes.
I don't know, Street. CJ might have to get a free membership for that one, Street.
Shout out to Brandon Ennis, man. Well, that wasn't Ennis, huh? That was Kane Insight, huh? We switched off Ennis, huh?
Yep.
But Ennis tipped us. Ennis tipped us. So that is, man.
Look at the
Damari
comment.
Brown.
Hat test is a lie.
Damari Brown. Huh?
I'm looking at the comments on Kane's Insight. It says a hat test is a lie. Lemon pepper stepper strike again.
Yeah. Damari Brown commits to the University of Miami. We got him and his brother. I heard his brother did his things as a freshman at Central Florida, and he kind of didn't have as good a season last year. So at the end of the day, 5 wins first year. That's some hell of a recruiting that went on.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you want to say it's the Steppers, whether you want to say it's Ruiz money, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, if it could be accomplished with 5 wins, then you can only say that the future looks positive.
We got to get some theme songs from Mario.
Like what?
I told you we can get that Stacey Adams. We stay on point like Stacey Adams. We can do that. Here come the high step up murderer. We got to get some theme songs from Mario, man. That man out here doing his thing, bro.
He is.
Shout out to JD again with the $100, man. Late in the game. I guess we can get out of here, man. I ordered me a smoothie, man. They probably done took it back to Smoothie King by now. I appreciate y'all, man. Yo. Yeah, man. 786-459-9499, man. Don't put off tomorrow something you could do today. The rest of your life could be seconds away. We got the space tonight at 7:30. Y'all come check us out on Twitter. We're out of here.